Welcome, Wapham crew and new listeners. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420. It is Sunday, February 5th, Monday, February 6th. For those of you across the pond and beyond, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm your host, Tessa TNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. I'm so glad you guys could join us this evening on the full moon. A lot of wacky stuff has been happening so far. A lot of crazy energies going on out there. I hope you guys are staying safe. Snuggle up with your favorite blankie, whoopee, whatever you want to call it. Grab yourself a drink, some popcorn, whatever you may need to get through this. We're doing something very awesome tonight, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. If you're listening to us live right now, you may be listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find at KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com. You can also find us live right now on eTalk Radio, which you can find on eTalk / it's actually etalk.tv /radio. If you want to listen to us in your free time, whether you're working it, or working out, make sure you look us up under We Are Paradox Media at Spreaker, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Facebook. We're also on YouTube, Twitch, Castbox, Tumblr, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podcast Chaser. So tonight, we're going to be discussing spiritual cleansing of land, as well as doing a fundraiser for Reality Orphanage. So we're hoping that Cassano can join us this evening, but otherwise we have Mr. Troy Bacon with us. And yeah, thanks for coming out, Troy, and thanks for hanging out with us and helping us out with this awesome orphanage. These kids are so cute.
Yes, they are. I'm glad to talk about that very soon. It's also kind of, in a way, an honor to be in contact with the founder of the Reality Orphanage, Cassano, and to be able to work out these fundraisers for him and for the orphanage. It's still a work in progress, but I see a lot of great potential and great value in that for the kids and their community.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of one of the kids that he wanted to feature, and he said he's been excelling in school and he's doing so good. I'm so proud of these kids and really proud and grateful for Cassano and what he's doing. I know it's difficult, so I try to add funds when I can. Sometimes it's difficult here in our neck of the woods as well, especially with COVID and all that craziness going on.
Yeah, I understand that. I um, kind of feel bad now that you mention it, but I honestly don't know the names of the kids at the orphanage. There's 40 of them, but I know that there were a few of them that were on a live video with me recently, and I think you saw at least one of them. He posted a picture of one recently who got accepted into a high school, and in Uganda, um, you have to pass a certain required test to get into high school, and then even after you graduate from or after high school, um, in order to get a job, you need to have a high school certificate. Um, Otherwise, you basically can't get a job, and many of the kids there um, want to be things like doctors and teachers and um, policemen and useful, helpful members of their village and country.
Yeah, and I just pulled it up on my messenger, and Consanya was saying he's really so happy that I believe it's Ukasha was able to pass in first grand with 12 aggregates in first division and has now headed to the high school level this term. And they're looking for funds to support him with tuition requirements. And he said English was Division 2, Mathematics credit 4, Science credit 3, and Social Studies credit 3. And yeah, like I said, these kids are so cute. And he was worried about like doing a live video with us because he's like, the kids, they get so excited and they get really loud about it, but I don't mind. I just love to see them.
Yeah, it's great to have their interaction. At the same time, I do want good quality audio so that um, the listeners can understand what's being said. We will see how that turns out. Um,
So as far
yeah,
as you were saying that sorry, you were mentioning the spiritual land clearing. So, what has actually been going on over there, where that's a thing that's actually needed?
yeah. That is kind of a work in progress. It'll probably be something I'll be doing my whole life, I'm guessing. Um, but that is something I've been awakening to. I've always been sensitive to land energies, and I've been able to pick up on messages recently from areas I've visited, and also lands that I've done readings in remotely. Um, of course, I think there's dark and chaotic energies in a lot of areas, literally everywhere. I've been visiting areas of the Seattle area neighborhoods, and um, some places more than others, I definitely just feel more heavy energy. Um, I still have yet to visit many places in Seattle. I visited some and do land clearing. Part of that is I have to do some preparation to be in the right um, clear and calm headspace and be able to tune in to my energy body and my truth and um, let things come through from me. Also, just see what I pick up on. And then if there are spirits there, or even aside from the spirits that may be there who have been deceased, I tend to be able to tune into the spirit of the land itself when I do um, that tune in and ask it what it wants. That's something I'm learning to navigate too. Um, Land is not just something that, and places are not just things that empaths and intuitives and psychics and mediums can just walk into, or should walk into, I don't like the word should though, um, and just show up and metaphorically shine their light and just shoo away everything that's there and clear it. Land is something that's conscious. It's an energy grid. It's spirit. It is spirits of the lands, of the geological formations, of the rivers, the lakes, the waters. Um, what happens for me sometimes, and what has happened with me recently, is for example, drive by a, an area multiple times, and sometimes when I'm either playing music or not, or just um, kind of daydreaming while I'm driving, and but still focusing on what I'm doing, but deep in thought. Um, then I just get the hit and sense that somebody died somewhere. And for example, one place was one particular spot in a lake I drive by of Lake Washington. And of course, I was driving, so I couldn't just stop and even meditate or do anything about it. But I kind of got the message that a couple of people drowned in the lake. And for the best of my ability at that moment, I was able to energetically send them roses and ask the archangels that I work with to help send the healing that they need, as these spirits were reaching out to me with their sorrow, and if they want to move on. And so then I was driving by a few days later, and I kind of got a similar sense from the land, and or maybe spirits that are there, that um, a couple of kids did drown there, but I felt that they were thanking me the second time I drove by a few days later for even that little bit of healing I was able to send. And I'm not sure if the spirits of them would have completely moved on or not. Maybe I could check that spot again, but that did at least help them to be acknowledged. And sometimes acknowledgement and listening and validation is what deceased spirits need. And sometimes that's the most powerful thing we can offer them and give them.
Yeah, I agree. Acknowledgement is so important for spirits that are there. What is it that you think keeps these spirits stuck there? Do you think it's like the traumatic way in which they died, or them being kids, being so young, they're not quite sure even about spirituality or where to go? You know, a lot of people assume that they just, they're kids, so they automatically just go to heaven. But, I've seen certain circumstances where they're either looking for their parents, or they don't even know that they're gone. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, it is. And that's actually kind of a complicated and loaded question in the things you asked. Um, Something I've learned about spirits, especially about ghosts and deceased spirits, through my experience, and especially since I was at the Ghost Conference in Port Gamble, Washington in November, I, of course, I've actually known some of this for a while, but it was kind of solidified there, and I went deeper there. But I believe that ghosts and hauntings and deceased spirits in places are their own particular, kind of different things. Sometimes when someone dies or is murdered or something like that in a place, then sometimes I think a fragment of their soul, not the whole soul, but a fragment of their consciousness does actually get stuck there. Some ghosts and spirits in particular places don't even want to leave. Some of them have been there for centuries, and they just live there by their own choice because they want to, because they like the place or they like the energy of the land. So that in that instance, for example, that's when us as living bodied humans should not just go in and push them out and just clear the land because we want it to be cleared. We need to respect the wishes and will of those spirits. Some hauntings and spirits stuck in a place, um, especially when they repeat the same action over and over again, then they um, that tends to be a not only a pattern but a program or an imprint in the grid of the land itself. And when that happens, that's not when a consciousness, such as part of the soul, is actually there. It's more that just when they died or when they were alive, they left such an imprint on the land that after they did die, then that just stays there and people see it and pick up on it. Um, Sometimes I think it's really the emotional energy that's powerful. Emotions are, I think, one of the most powerful energies we have, chemically and energetically. And I can imagine that in the case of a murder, that type of intense trauma, it's not just trauma that gets left in them or in a place, but it's that, I think, burst and shock of emotional energy that um, really gets stuck in the land and creates that imprint.
Yeah, there's so many places where, people don't expect a haunting or any sort of spiritual activity because they're like, this house is new. Like, why is it haunted? But a lot of things are attached to land and tend to stay there.
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, that can happen. Um, by the way, one thing I want to say is that ghosts are not all bad. A lot of them can be actually quite nice. Um, Sometimes it's actually very beneficial and quite a moving experience to just sit and listen in a place, even if you feel that there are unknown spirits there, and just get to know someone or whoever's there. And they won't hurt you usually, unless they truly are of a dark and malevolent nature. Um, but I believe that with your own discernment and protection in place or ready, then it is quite beneficial to you and the land and the spirit, the disembodied spirit, to just get to know them. Maybe they didn't even get listened to in their life, and that could be a very powerful thing, just to listen and give them something that they never had when they were alive.
Yeah, I agree. Acknowledgement is very important. And sometimes when there is a haunting, or perhaps you get scratched or something happens, and I feel like the spirit is just trying to reach out, like it's not intending to scratch you, but it's trying to touch you, or talk to you, or get your attention in one way or another. And so I think some people get scratched accidentally. I don't think sometimes that they intend to do that. And then, like you're saying, there are the malicious ones that do scratch intentionally or pinch or bite or whatnot.
Yeah, um, that's true. There are just many things to consider, and especially for those of us who are land healers or space clearers and or even paranormal investigators, I think that no matter what you're doing, when you're going into a place that you don't have familiarity with and you know that it's haunted or probably that someone has died there and there's a spirit there, it's always best to go in. Well, one is just like I was saying earlier, to be open and respectful of what's there and not just go in kind of an arrogant way to um, do your own wishes and clear the space, but also bring in or be ready to bring in protection such as your own incantations and visualizations, um, angels, and even some spiritual tools such as activated crystals. Not all crystals can just be protective as people want them to be. Just by holding them, sometimes you need to activate a crystal previously and be working with it. Um, Bring in maybe essential oils too. There are various things, but that's something. Um, I found that angels and archangels may be one of the most protective and powerful energies, especially when you invoke them. One thing about that too is that I think they're always around us. In my experience, angels and angelic energies are somewhat primordial in nature. They're kind of their own beings, and sometimes I get impressions of a humanoid form in which they may choose to appear, but they also just have their own powerful energy, and they're not bound to a humanoid form in that way that they can be with anyone at any time, and so they're always with people. They always want to help humans in their own ways, whatever their specialties are. Um, but just like with other higher vibrational spirits, we need to welcome them and call them in and invoke them in order for them to help us. Otherwise, they might just sit there and not do anything without being invited.
Sorry, I was just looking at the message from Mr. Morris over here on Spreaker, and he said the sound's gone wonky. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but
Mhm.
um,
Can you hear me okay?
yeah, I can hear you fine. I think it's just over on Spreaker. We could be, um, I don't know. I asked him what was going on. Hold on one second. Let's see. Um, yeah, I'm not sure quite what's going on with it, but hopefully it works itself out. But um, yeah, so when you go onto a property and you go to cleanse a land, do you just meditate? Are there certain things that you do to clear the area?
That's a good question. I know that everyone has their own uh, procedures. I'm still developing some of mine, although I have some of my own meditation techniques that I have worked with for a while. Um, I guess if I go somewhere that I feel is, or I'm called to a place that is heavy in energy, before before
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
before I set foot in a place, I certainly would want to call in angelic protection and my own set up my own protection so that it's there. Um, One thing is you don't have to even verbalize your protection, or you kind of do to call it in, but you when you go somewhere um, or do something, you don't even have to give vocal consent for something to happen to you. Just like if you walk into, let's say, a psychic fair or something, um, in kind of a quantum way, you don't even need to um, give your permission. Sometimes you do, and sometimes it helps too, but kind of in one way, you don't have to give your permission for the intuitive and psychic people there to start reading you and pick up on you, because basically by entering into that zone, you've already, in a way, given um, your consent to be exposed to being read. In the same way, if you go into a place with heavy energy, I believe that it's important to call in protection and set your boundaries first. Otherwise, by just showing up there, you're already giving your consent to possibly be infiltrated, be attached to, be attacked, whatever might be there to do something to you. So, what I do is certainly um, say my spiritual invocation, um, which starts with "In the light of love, truth, and benevolence." I always like to use that and call in loving, truthful, and benevolent beings. People can create their own invocations, and I think that that's important. And um, say what feels really best and truly right for you. And then it really depends on the place. If I'm going there physically in my with my body or tuning into it remotely. Um, Either way, I tend to sense things, especially when I have myself open and ready to. When I go to a place physically and there aren't other people around, I especially like to meditate um, in one part of a land or even a building or something. Um, I'm still kind of new to this practice. It's relatively new in my life officially to do this in a structured way. But I have my own meditation, which I kind of actually a few of them. One of them may be derived from what I do in my hypnotherapy practice, which I'm not even sure comes from this planet. It kind of just showed up to me after my walk-in experience when I was meditating above my head that then I bring down, and it's a rainbow light portal typically, but a light portal bring down over my head, and um, one chakra or one part of my body at a time. I activate, cleanse, and clear, and whatever else needs to be done. Um, and then do that through my whole body, usually from head to foot and even below. And then create the space of my own energy body, my own basically sphere as I feel and experience it. Um, and then I go to whatever comes through. Sometimes even before I finish that process, I pick up on things if someone has a message for me. But after that, I would sometimes explore different parts of a place and see if there might be certain energies in one place more than another. Um, and see what I feel I can work with, as well as, like I said earlier, get the consent to get cleared or move on a spirit or something like that.
Yeah, that's very important. We have over here at the Railroad Museum a ghost that is Walter the Brakeman, and he's a dirty mofo. I don't really like him at all. But we had a medium that would come with us, and they were able to move spirits on, and we were really trying to get rid of this spirit because he was picking on the little girl ghost that was there when we are trying to figure out what her story was. And the medium's like, he doesn't want to go, so I can't move him on. And I was like, why? Like, we just want to get rid of him. But it's free will, and it's totally up to that individual or spirit.
Yeah, that's true. Um, Another thing I can share for a bit is something interesting that came through in an intuitive reading I was giving to someone recently, especially about land healing. And quite often when I'm doing this remotely, I pick up on the energies of a place and see it too, kind of get uh, an impression, visual impression in my mind of what it looks like and the kind of environment, what elements are there, and if it's out in nature and what that looks like, what type of environment that is. And this one woman I was giving this reading to, I saw a river that she likes to visit, especially a particular area of the river that she likes to. I found out later, put her feet in the water when it's warm enough, and a river with a lot of rocks. Um, Not too many huge rocks, but just a lot of rocks. And I picked up on that there were some rocks from the river that she had taken and brought home, and that was okay. And I learned that the river spirit itself and her are, in a way, soul sisters, and that's why she goes there. But I especially got this, I think it came from the river spirit, this interesting message that something that she can do when she travels. She's kind of a land healer too, but she's also learning about this and learning how to do more of this and get into this. Um, the message, though, was that for her to start meditating with the rocks from that river, and when she does so, visualize, just imagine being there again and what that feels like. Bring in that river energy again, even if she's in her home. In addition, she can bring those rocks, or at least one of them, with her when she travels. And I think this is neat if you have a particular connection, like a spiritual connection with a land or something like this, or you can just also choose a crystal or a stone to designate as your healing rock. But the other tip was that she can take a rock, one of these rocks, with her when she travels to places with water or just other lands. Meditate with them, connect with the river spirit um, remotely, and bring in that clarity. Um, it helps her get clear to do that. And so once she does that with the rock, then she can set it on a ground or on a plant or in a particular spot in a land that might be high energy, or just in a particular spot, or even water, and then let it sit there and then move on. And so then that's like, the more she does that, it would create like a web, uh, a big connection, a web of connections with that river spirit, and gradually increasing the connections of the earth grid. So, based on that, I'm actually going to start practicing something like that. I haven't done much of it yet. That was just recently, but there are some places around Seattle I feel called to go for land healing. I think I need to designate certain days for that and not just do that when I'm busy. But I have a particular piece of red jasper that I picked up in Fiji, Um, there's a lot of red jasper in Fiji. It's a volcanic island, of course, volcanic islands. But this one piece was, I noticed, the most vibrant red jasper I'd seen there. And so I picked that up. I sanded it last summer, and so now it's all smooth. And I've designated that as to be my land healing stone to work with in the very near future and beyond.
Yeah, stones are super awesome as far as my mentor, she taught me about them. And um, before I was just, going with my gut instinct and just doing things that came naturally to me. But it's amazing what properties and protections and such that stones do have.
Yeah, um, it is, and some of them can be very powerful, especially when they're kept physically intact and energetically handled from place from person to person if they're traded in the mineral trade. Or also, I think it lends more meaning as well as just clearer energy when you can pick up a crystal or a stone by yourself, rock hounding or anything else, and just already not have it handled by other people.
Yeah, and you were
Um,
talking about the river, and I know my mentor, she would take her crystals or whatnot to the river, generally during a full moon or whatnot, to cleanse them, and she'd put them in the water and allow it to be cleansed that way.
that is a great idea. Yeah, putting them in running water, especially natural water that's living, is one great way to cleanse them. Activating crystals too can be done in sunlight. Sunlight cleanses and activates them. Um, about water though, and rivers and oceans, you have to be really careful not to put smaller stones in strong currents or let them be washed away by waves, because they will be. And I've actually made that mistake in the past. Lost a actual crystal skull in the ocean once that
Oh
was quite
no.
unfortunate. I couldn't get it back, even though I tried. But yeah, be careful. Be very careful with crystals, especially precious ones near the ocean. Sometimes waves can just wash up, even if, even if you don't expect it, and the waves aren't very rough. You never know. Um, so be cautious with that. And also, some stones, such as selenite, should not be cleansed in water because selenite, especially, will dissolve, as well as things like Himalayan salt and other soft minerals that are water soluble. Um, most stones can be cleansed with water, though.
So, is it okay to put the stones into perhaps like a net bag or something, and then put it into the ocean, or does that hinder the cleansing process?
Well, I can imagine that could work, um, especially if you hold onto the bag, don't let it get washed away. But yeah, that could work if you have a strong hold on it, just to expose it to ocean water or even river water, whatever the case may be.
So yeah, I didn't. I know that selenite's very light and it's got this chalky sort of look to it. I didn't know that it would dissolve in water. That's pretty intriguing. Learn something new every
Yeah,
day.
that's what I have heard from many people, and I haven't tested that myself. I don't want to dissolve my selenites, but I think that is true. Um, I don't have any reason to not believe that. I've never heard anyone say that it's not true. And I've been collecting crystals for most of my life now. Um, yeah, crystals definitely can be beneficial and powerful tools for land healing, as well as just healing in other ways. But crystals are part of the life of the earth itself. And so by activating and using them in positive ways, then that helps the earth grids heal as a living being, as a network. Um, I've been thinking about this for a long time and been on this wavelength that crystals and even plants and everything else is geometry, and we see that in most crystals with um, geometric shapes. Quartz crystals tend to be hexagonal. Um, Pyrite and fluorite is often, um, I don't know if there's another word, but cubic in form,
Hmm.
uh, in its structure. Um, Many other forms out there. Even the human body and other animal bodies and plants we see are made with geometry. So that's interesting how crystals and us can work together.
So how has your new venture been going as far as, hypnosis and such?
That's coming along. Um, I probably have a lot to say about that. It's interesting you ask at this time. Of course, that's part of what we're talking about tonight. But I'm just now in the process of rebranding my hypnotherapy practice and expanding it some too, as I also offer the individual service of intuitive readings for people, spirits, and lands. That can be a session by itself, a type of work by itself, as well as I've learned Reiki recently, so I can offer Reiki distance healings. I do everything by distance right now, and my hypnotherapy. Um, I'm rebranding that, especially to be more integrative with all the energy healing stuff I do, in the way that it's kind of what I've always done, but it's a lot more than just hypnotherapy. I can't quite call it clinical hypnotherapy, even though I've learned clinical hypnotherapy. That was my original official training in it, but it's a type of integrative energy healing that addresses issues on the physical, the mental, emotional, um, energy, body, and spiritual levels. And just a little while ago today, I was receiving a guided meditation from Steve Nobel on YouTube, the Sekhmet transmission, in which he guides um, people to visit a past life or just visit a healing temple in Sirius, a Syrian temple. And I did. That's where my walking is from anyway, so that was a great experience for me. And what happened there is I met some Syrian beings energetically who confirmed a symbol I've been seeing and sort of drawing recently, a 16 pointed star, um, and confirmed that that will be useful for me to work with energetically and in my healing work. Um, in addition, I got the confirmation that what I've been doing is actually from Sirius and my Syrian lifetimes. Um, with my hypnotherapy, I not only start out, or I start out with the hypnotic process, with my induction being with that um, high vibrational energy portal that I had talked about earlier above my head, usually starting at the level of the soul star chakra above the head, and then bringing that down to the crown, and then gradually down through the whole body and down to the feet. I work with that to um, cleanse and activate and clear the energy body. Um, that's the start. And then once I help the person clear and activate their energy body, we um, basically move with the rainbow light body across the rainbow bridge into their inner landscape. And in their inner landscape, I um, get to know what their landscape is like for them, connect with them energetically, and it's more than just me telling them things. It's I feel like I'm actually there. I pick up on things while they're experiencing it in real time, and so then it becomes not only therapeutic imagery, but quite often angels and ancestors, sometimes fairies or spirit guides or their spirits may come through, and often do, as they're needed for any particular part of a person's healing process. Um, there are many things I can do within the inner landscape with a person, and what that may look like is repro, especially with imagery, um, finding images and objects to reprogram, to address, to interact with, to learn from, especially with their spirit guides or inner wisdom, to guide them and help them become clearer on certain things. And then usually transmute, or whatever way it needs to be worked with, an object that represents something in their subconscious or even their inner child or inner self aspects. I've worked with multiple inner personalities in people before, and um, helped them heal and integrate personality by personality. And in addition to that, we can use tools. Some of my favorite tools I use in my self hypnosis are my angel wings, um, a magic wand of light, my sword of truth, um, my lantern just to see things more clearly. Various things can be applied depending on um, what someone is dealing with and what is needed. Of course, I can also guide a person through a past life regression, and that is often therapeutic. Past life regressions are also very compatible with soul contract healing, which is kind of a separate thing I've learned to do. It's usually not a whole session by itself, but a thing within a session that I can apply to guide a person to view their soul contracts and learn from them. Um, and that can apply to certain lifetimes and contracts. Um, so that's kind of the main um, bulk and essence of what I do. Um, so it really becomes more than just clinical hypnosis where I tell a person or suggest to a person ideas and healing imagery. It becomes interactive and it becomes a multi-level, multidimensional, I think, process that works with the energy body, the mind, body, spirit, the soul, um, spirits, and the subconscious realm. I've found is really just like, it's unique and personal to everyone in their own programs and their own beliefs and everything in there. But it's also when we enter that subconscious realm consciously, then that becomes like a hub between our conscious minds and the rest of the universe. and allows us to interact with spirits and spirits to interact with us. Um, Sometimes, especially when it's appropriate and allowed by our highest self and highest and best good. Um, as for how things have been going, I've been getting things moving a lot more recently, and at least energetically, and doing a lot more. I'm getting back into YouTubing a lot. Um, Pretty soon, I'll be talking about and probably making multiple videos talking about the distinctions between hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and then going to more videos about the types of hypnotherapy and um, what that looks like, what they're for, and um, all that. Because it's come to my attention more recently that it's become quite an epidemic, in my opinion, that I think, vast majority of the general public does not understand what hypnotherapy is, and a lot of people are afraid of it because they think it's stage hypnosis, but it is absolutely not. Um, I can't do anything against anyone's will. I never would. And that's not what hypnotherapy is, that you need to be willing. And this also, one last thing ties into what I was saying earlier about going into a space just by showing up somewhere. In a way, you subconsciously give your consent for certain things to happen to you. And in the realm of stage hypnosis, when a stage hypnotist, for example, would call someone onto a stage and as a volunteer and participate with something or be hypnotized, just by volunteering, raising your hand and going up on the stage, you already give consent for them to get into your subconscious and essentially take control of you. Um, I don't do that. And with my hypnotherapy, I advocate and make sure that everyone is in control, aware, and sovereign in their own mind and energy and what they're experiencing.
Yeah, it's I don't know, pretty interesting, and I'm one of those people that are kind of fearful of it. And it's not the fact that I think they're going to make me do something that I don't want to do or whatnot, but maybe they're going to knock over a table and break a vase, or I don't know. It's kind of weird letting somebody into your head, but at the same time, I've been considering it for different things like smoking or drinking or whatnot. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to do it. Have you been able to help people with certain attributes like that?
I have. Yeah, a lot of what I've done is trauma healing. Some of what I've worked um, with a number of cases is government, um, satanic, and ritual abuse, or ritual based mind control abuse, um, and those survivors and victims of the government, um, really reprogramming what's been done to them. And this is another thing that is quite deep, and because the government has mastered the science of hypnosis, um, they've done, for those who've heard of this and gotten into it or even experienced it themselves, they know that they've done some of the most atrocious things to some people. I can do a lot of help just with what I know and what I already am able to do with hypnotherapy. But this is where angels come in too, and angels offer their healing energies to, also Reiki, helps to bring Reiki energy in, um, to go into deeper levels of the subconscious and psyche energy that I don't even know about and sometimes don't even present themselves, but they get healed anyway with such healing energies. Um, And so I've seen great turnaround from that, um, with those survivors in particular, become a lot more integrated with who they truly are, become more integrated with their traumatized inner children or inner selves, as they call them. They have different names for them. Um, I have helped some people who've been, some of them have been from this government mind control as a result of it and other trauma. Mostly the government mind control, though, become compulsive hoarders, become compulsive clutterers, and I've actually helped reprogram that in some of the people I've worked with, and I've seen great turnaround with that. Some people have been living in clutter, like excessive clutter and hoarding level clutter, for 20 years even of their life or more. Um, they don't know how to break it and they don't know how to stop it or even what it comes from. Some of them do, but some of it definitely came from the government mind control programs. And basically, by cluttering and building up structures essentially of their stuff, then that subconsciously creates forts or protectors in a way, even though that's not actually beneficial to them. But yeah,
Yeah,
for
like they
example,
feel secure with, being in a small space or confined space. They feel much more secure that way, I suppose. It's kind of like when you put a cow in that rack to milk it, like that rack around it. I can't remember her name, but I believe she was autistic or had something like that going on with her, and she actually used the cow rack to comfort herself and calm herself. But yeah, is that perhaps why people hoard? Like I know some people are from like an older generation or they've lost things or people, and so they hold on to things. But do you think that could be a part of it too?
that definitely is. Yeah, especially when you have trouble letting go of things and donating things or gifting things. Um, Sometimes that's the subconscious within you trying to hold on because something feels safe, because something feels comforting, and it's afraid of what may happen without it or being without something to comfort, to bring comfort. And so, yeah, I've helped people with such conditions to literally clean up like 50 to 90% of their home, declutter, sometimes with the help of an assistant, but declutter their stuff, create a lot more order and cleanliness in their home. Um, I've One thing I do in also cases such as this of with trauma and with attachments, I can help people create um, comfort, feelings of comfort and happiness, and just being more content with themselves in different ways, without physical objects, but um, just learning to do that organically.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, but we do have to go to our first music break. And on this break, we have Mr. Brick Casey, who's from Boston. And then our other music breaks I put on tonight in honor of the Reality Orphanage. So we have Nonya Toria, who is from Ghana, South Africa, and she's going to be singing Kaki Gabon. And then we have King Cinnamon, who is Biafra. He's from Biafra, Nigeria, with Fantastic. And then, yeah, and then we'll be right back after that. So you guys don't go anywhere. All right, so we have about 15 minutes for this break.
Okay, I just need to start my car and charge my phone.
Okay, no worries.
Waiting for connection.
phone, cause my baby wouldn't be that me. So tell me what's gonna be the cool, how's your day? How's your day? Text her, put it up, jot down my text number, get click every time. Picking up your, I see the phone rings quite a few times before any answer. And I know she's home, well at least till 3. And I know she's home. No, I don't mean to be any bother operator, but could you just check and connect this call for me? Cause I know she's home. See, the first time I call, I'm like, maybe she working. And the second time I call, I'm like, little bit hurting. But the third time I call, I'm like, going berserk. And now half the day gone, can't get her on the horn. Usually in the morning, maybe something wrong. I mean, she wouldn't take this long to call back. She be tight like that, she's supposed to be mine. Could you please try one more time? Hey, Mr. Sailor Phone Man, I see something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Sailor Phone Man, I see something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but get click every time. Why she ain't picking up your for some reason? It's like she ain't home. Just wanna get my baby on the phone. On the phone. Now I know that she's there all alone. All alone. Can you please hook up my cellular phone? It's Mr. Cellular Phone Man. I see there's something wrong with my mind. I track down my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man. Something wrong with my mind. I track down my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man. I see there's something wrong with my mind. I track down my baby's number, but get click every time. Mr. Cellular Phone Man. I see something wrong with my line. I jot down my baby's number, but get click every time. Why she picking up your Why she ain't picking up your early for promises I do, but I wanna get it out even more. It's the sweetest thing in the world to know that our heart beats run, yeah. And even if we fight, we'll be making up all night. But waiting God don't put together, no man can put us under, asunder, asunder, yeah. Last forever. Cocky on the leather, them were meant to last forever. Cocky on the leather, them were meant to last forever. I look into your eyes, baby, you done make me mesmerized. And I look into your eyes, baby, you done make me mesmerized. You're the one that me unveil, make you believe in me, make I trust you. You better run let me out there. Make you believe in me, make I trust in you. When you love you ever love you last forever. Cocky on the leather, then we're meant to last forever. Cocky on the leather, then we're meant to last forever. Cocky on the leather, then we're meant to last forever. You dey make me feel like Jalingo when I drive from my road. You dey look and feel like Johnny Go when I wanna go. You say no 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 no. We swap on
Shabba go with the bam bam. King Cinnamon. Oh yeah, buddy. Take your bam bam anywhere you day. Lay your bam bam, it is a Friday. Mama, let's call it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Take your bam bam anywhere you day. Lay your bam bam, it is a Friday. Mama, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Would you better, baby, gather some things? Come on closer, baby, gather 19. I know you better, but I am the king. Your backside bigger than Bombay. Baby girl, Kokotum. I like the way you want your Kokotum. Baby girl, Kokotum. I like the way you want your Kokotum. Jamaica, Ghana, shout out to the ladies in Asia, Nigeria, South Africa. Say she love you. Please me, baby. Yeah. Turn up for you. Yeah. Take your bamba when you're ready. Take your bamba, it is a Friday. Mama, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Take your bamba when you're ready. Take your bamba, it is a Friday. Mama, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Give me love, give me love. Show me love, show me love. Give me love, give me love. We want you, we love you. Give me love, give me love. Give me love, give me love. God, make me, make you. Yeah. Turn up from you. Yeah. Make your bum bum anywhere you day. Make your bum bum it is a Friday. Come on, let's call it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Make your bum bum anywhere you day. Make your bum bum it is a Friday. Come on, let's go, it is a holiday. Anything you want, baby, I will pay. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Fantastic. Baby girl, you romantic. Yeah, sit down. You know what I'm saying?
We spoke on the mix. Let go. So many fine boys in the club tonight. I wanna dance and I'm feeling kind of funny tonight. Make you wind up, no darling, won't do that. Cause I'm coming for my bum, 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 bum. For my bum, 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 bum. Thank God it's Friday. I did the right dress for this party. They sleeping, no darling, all my girls wanna do is get about it. Mama go, why buy me go? Mama go, why buy me go? Mama go, why buy me go? Why buy me go? Why buy me go? So many fine boys in the club tonight. I wanna dance and I'm feeling kind of naughty tonight. Make you wind up, no darling, hold your leg. Cause I'm coming for my bum, 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 bum. For my bum, 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 bum. Get down on the floor, I gon' make you wax more. I got feeling, why buy me go? Let go, move it up. I'm gonna send nobody. Oh yeah, make the move your body. If you wanna just touch my body, I gon' make sure you tell the story. I'm gonna send nobody. Oh yeah, make the move your body. If you wanna just touch my body, I gon' make sure you tell the story. Mama go, why buy me go? 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 So many fine boys in the club tonight. I wanna dance and I'm feeling kind of naughty tonight. Make you wind up, no darling, hold your leg. Cause I'm coming for my bum, 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 bum. For my bum, 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 bum. Get down low. Yeah, 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 So many fine boys in the club tonight. I wanna dance and I'm feeling kind of naughty tonight. Make you wind up, no darling, hold your leg. Cause I'm coming for my bum, 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 bum. For my bum, 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 bum. So many fine boys in the club tonight. I wanna dance and I'm feeling kind of naughty tonight. Make you wind up, no darling, hold your leg. Cause I'm coming for my bum, 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 bum. For my bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. We did have Casanyo on here for just a moment. I was like, try again. You were almost through. Man, we were that close. And I was telling him, like, as far as the fundraising, because I know they're going through a lot of stuff, and I did save some photos, but yeah, I wanted to share these photos with everyone. And I think just seeing the faces and seeing these beautiful children is so important, and seeing the orphanage and everything they're doing to help these kids is so important. So, um, let me pull something up. I'm scrolling through. I was where I wanted to be, and then I had to message them and say, try again, Casanio. We almost had you. Um, geez, oh Pete, where did it go? Patrick is one of the kids. He's so cute. So this month, the next term of their school year resumes, and in what is it, Mayuge, or how do you pronounce that?
I think it's Mayuge, Uganda. That's the way I've been saying it.
Okay, and there are 40 or more children at the Reality Orphanage that need help affording tuition. Please consider making the smallest amount of donation, whether it's $1, $5, 10, 20, even 30 is a huge help. I've been sending 20 each time because that's basically all I can afford, because bitches be broke these days. But whether you donate or share this link or whatnot, it's very important. And they do have a GoFundMe that is scrolling across the bottom of the screen here. But yeah, if you guys could definitely go and do that, that would be amazing, because that's what we're trying to accomplish this evening. So one of the kids there, her first term in school, and the program is for her second term, and these kids are depending upon us for their future, you know. And then I think her name was Bobby, sorry, Bobber Ye, and she needs some support to get through school. And one of the important things that Casanio had mentioned was, you know, she needs schooling so she doesn't depend on marriage or whatnot, you know, to make her future. Like, she can be an independent woman and she can run her own life, which is super important. And I'm not saying marriage is bad, but in some places like this, like, people do depend on such things as that to get through.
Yeah, and by that, I know that a lot of the young women there, even before or after graduating from high school, um, some may need to marry a man who already has some wealth and has some status to pay for their school, or even if they after they graduate, sometimes they don't have where to go, especially the orphans. And so then some of the young women tend to marry to create better financial stability and um, get things going for them. But then that also usually um, results in early pregnancies that are the babies can turn out okay and healthy and grow up, but it, I believe it shouldn't. Is that an echo from me? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I lost you for a minute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Especially, I believe that young women shouldn't have to marry just to be able to afford finishing their primary schooling, or even after high school, be forced to marry um, to be able to have a house or a decent life and have some money. So that's what that is. And yeah, we definitely want to help, especially these young women and the young girls, to get a good education, and that way they can only learn about who they are and what they can do, and what they have to offer. But with their education, even in primary school, with their high school certificate, then they are able to use that to get jobs after high school in Uganda. Some of them may, I suspect, even venture outside of Uganda, maybe in other countries or other continents too. Um, at some point in their lives, that's likely to happen with someone. One thing about Kasango, the founder, that I have learned is that he was, I think, raised as an orphan. He was an orphan, and so he knows what it's like to grow up that way, um, not even knowing that he's going to have a meal the next day. Um, Usually not even having enough money to afford a meal every day. Uh, Lately, this in 2022 and sometimes this year even, um, especially last summer when there was a drought in Uganda, many of the kids and him sometimes even he had to sacrifice more than the kids. He had to sacrifice his meals usually so that the kids could eat at his orphanage. Um, Sometimes the kids didn't even get 2 meals a day. Sometimes they didn't even get a meal a day. Um, so that's also why I'm doing these fundraisers. This one is designated for back to school term, and to get the goal amount is 400 US dollars, so that the kids there can afford to go back to school right now. Um, but also, I'm doing more of these fundraisers and will be doing them so that um, hopefully they can reach the right donors and people can donate. Um, like you said, Tessa, even 5, 10, 20, or $30 at a time makes a huge difference in Uganda currency. And um, yeah, some of these fundraisers are and will be for just food and clothing and toiletries and medical supplies, basic medical supplies, even clean water. They don't even have always clean water at the orphanage. Usually they don't. I know that last summer, I don't know if it's always this way. I suspect it's not. But last summer, because there was a drought, um, some of the orphans, I think all of the orphans in Kasengo had to drink polluted water from a. I'm not sure what it is exactly. Either it's a sewer or a drainage pipe of some sort, but it was dirty water. It's an awful situation they had to go through and still do. It's not over. Um, so this is a side project I've been working on in addition to my hypnotherapy practice, to get funds for them to even live a half decent life over there at the reality orphanage. I also want to make it clear that I'm not donating money and working through global organizations such as UNICEF or others. I know there are a number of organizations that do charities like this, but I'm not saying UNICEF entirely or all their charities entirely are ineffective, but some of the large ones I've heard are. And Kasango has actually requested not to work with UNICEF because he tried with them, but I don't know actually what his experience was or what they did, but according to him, they're more like office people and not boots on the ground people and getting him what he needed. So anyway, that's his choice. I did not make the decision myself not to work with UNICEF, but that's his choice. And I also want to make it clear that I've gotten to know him, and I am not um, I'm not donating money or asking money to go somewhere that nobody knows where it's going.
Yeah, and to me, like I was gonna say, it's ridiculous because a lot of these people that are running these things are making so much money, and it's like, I don't know. I think people should be in it just for charity or doing for your fellow man and not for the paycheck. Like, I don't know. And I
Yeah,
know people need to have money to survive, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Can't you have a real job or another job that makes you money instead of taking from the foundation? For me, that's just like a sort of catch 22 or whatnot. It doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. Um, it doesn't, and I agree. I believe that it's okay to get paid a half decent wage for
Yeah, your
charity
sound
work.
went kind of wonky all of a sudden. I'm going to restart this audio engine. Yeah, you sound like a robot. Sounds
Okay.
clear now.
Um,
That was weird. What happened?
maybe there's some interference on my end. I'm not sure. Maybe there's some interference over here. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, it's unfortunate that some large charity organizations, not all of them, I know that some actually do the actual work and make a big difference, but I believe it's okay to make money to live for charity work if that's what you do, and I definitely support that. I looked into that myself at one point, but that's not where I'm at, or I guess not what I meant to do. Um, but at the same time, even if you're getting paid for charity work, I think that should actually make a big difference in helping people live and be healthy. Um, even if you do some office work. Anyway, we can't really do anything about that right now. So let's go back to talking about the fundraiser and his children. I'm hoping that Kasenga will come on soon. I know he's been having trouble with this platform. I think he's going to keep trying to get on.
Yeah, for sure. And he actually came through for a second, and his mic and such wasn't set up. And then I clicked to add him, and he was there for a second, and then he was gone. So I don't know if it's like reception or what's going on with that, but I've repeatedly sent him the link, and I'm hoping it works.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's just because of where he's at in Uganda, maybe his phone connection. But there's been times I've had live calls with him, and sometimes he has the call is dropped, or it it answered for a little bit, but then I don't know if it was an accident, but somehow it hung up, and then he called back or something like that. Anyway, hopefully he'll come on soon, and then he can share a lot more from his perspective of what it's actually like over there.
Yeah, for them to be having to drink that gray water or sewer water or whatever the heck it was, like, that's insane.
Yeah, did you see any of those pictures? Maybe I could send you some if I can find them. But yeah, even that idea not being able to drink clear water, um, it's quite unfortunate. And I think even in my life, because I've been doing these fundraisers and helping him a little bit, um, I've been thinking about how much money I'm spending and how fortunate I am, and I'm sure most Americans are, and other developed countries too, to be able to live even in a house or an apartment, or be able to have a few meals, good meals every day, and also be able to have good, clean water, which should be a human right. And I don't know what the underground water situation is there is like, if there might be a well possibility. But at some point, he wants to get a clean water system. This is another thing I want to do more fundraisers for, is getting them a clean water system, because um, he shared with me, I think it was last summer, last year anyway, that it cost like, I don't know, a few thousand American dollars maybe worth. Maybe I have that wrong, but a good sum of money, even for him, or um, some Americans possibly, just to get a clean water system installed for the orphanage. Probably well water, I'm guessing, is what it is. Um, Maybe I should look into their alternatives too that could work out for him. But yeah, it was only partly installed, and he was able to pay off like a third of it, and then um, I guess the guy installing it stopped because it couldn't be paid for completely, and so I don't know what will happen with that project. But I hope to get them a clean water system at some point, or hopefully they can, and that's what
Yeah, that'd be
these
awesome.
fundraisers can be for. I know that I didn't think about this until now, but I know that there are um, sustainable new technologies that have been employed in other areas of Africa. Um, Basically, some inventions that take water out of the air.
Hmm.
I don't know if those cost much or what they are. I'll have to look into those. But basically, they accumulate moisture out of the air to make enough water for people to live. So we will see about that.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
thinking maybe if he sends a video or something, we can play that. So I don't know if he can just record and send it to us. Because it shows here, slides, extra camera, video file, share screen. So I wonder too, I don't know if I call him on Messenger, if he can get through that way, and I could share the screen and he can do what he needs to do. So I'll ask him and see if we can do that and see if that'll pop up.
maybe. Hopefully, at least audio could work.
Right.
Try that, and yeah, hopefully we can get him on.
Yeah, but water is super important. And like when I heard that about the guy stopped working or whatever because he wasn't getting paid, it's like, I don't know. Like for me, I'd be over there and I'd see those kids and, everybody has taxes and stuff like that. Like, can't you write it off your taxes or something? Like, something's got to give. I feel so bad.
Yeah, it is quite heartbreaking to see what's happening with them. I'm sure the reality orphanage in the Mayuge area might be in eastern Uganda. Not actually sure what part of Uganda it's in. I tried looking it up, but I couldn't. Maybe it's just so small, but I couldn't find Uganda from a basic map search. Um, or Mayuge. Anyway, I know it's a town. I've seen videos of it. It's an actual town, but they live outside of the town. Um, so where was I going with that? Yeah, about wealth. I've been thinking about this, and I'm still not. I don't have this all together. I'm still new to this fundraising thing, relatively new. But I'm hoping that we can find ways of getting this fundraiser to the right people and donors, even maybe philanthropists. And with so many, I don't know, just massive amounts of money um, being hoarded and spent and circulated within the ultra wealthy of America and developed countries, as well as huge amounts of money um, going to military funding, which we can't really change that yet. But I'm hoping that at least civilian crowdfunding can come together, and even beyond the reality orphanage, I hope that um, more, just more of this excess wealth going around among some people can help them live better and go towards um, fundraisers such as this for charity. Um, I don't think it's something we can change right now. I don't know if they'd be willing to, but I know that the governments, especially U.S. government, puts a huge amount of money, probably is it trillions of dollars, maybe just millions of dollars a day, into war, and not just the military, but war, and some of that's essential for defense from terrorists, but yeah, I've always wanted for humans to find better ways to divert that money, millions of dollars each day. If that didn't go to war, if that didn't need to, that could definitely fix a lot of the world's issues.
Yeah, it's super important. And I just shared another post with pictures of these cute kids because, like I was saying, like I think it's important that people are like able to see them, and I don't know, it just puts that human face or whatnot in there where people are more driven. But yeah, they're so cute, and I know that he was, worried about them being loud and excited and whatnot, but I love that. I love that about them. Just that excitement and that thrill for life and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can raise some money. I know that GoFundMe is it's a good thing, but at the same time they take a percentage too, and it's just the name of the game as far as that goes. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
complicated.
that's, I think, mostly for operational costs, which I think it's only like 2 or 3%, if I have that correct. But still, it helps because they are for fundraising and getting people the money they need.
Yeah, and the link that I've been using to send them money, which it says it doesn't take from either party, is SendWave. So that's another way that you can send money, and perhaps I can share that. And I was just like, why is it in somebody else's name? But I guess that's their accountant or whatnot. And she's the one, or he, I'm not sure, that takes care of the funds. Uh, Bulgario Agnes?
Yeah, that's right. And that is the same case with, what is it? One of the other money sending platforms that's linked up on newbeinghypnosis.com and the reality orphanage. I think it's Mayuge Uganda, and that website.com or whatever it is, but that's linked up on newbeinghypnosis.com anyway on the homepage. That can Remitly is the one I've used. They also don't take a percentage. It's kind of like PayPal, I think. 100% of the money goes through, and it goes directly to their banker. And I think it goes to that person's name because that's the account holder or something. But still, Casango gets the money. The account holder, that accountant, doesn't get the money at all. It's just their account, and then Casango can get the money as soon as it's transferred, which usually takes a matter of minutes or
Yeah,
seconds.
once you get it set up, it's so simple.
Yeah. Remitly is very simple. I don't know how they do this so securely, but they do. The times I've sent donations through there, I don't even know if I needed to put in like, maybe they needed my like social security number or something at first, or I think they just needed my bank account number, U.S. bank account number, where I'm sending from at first, and that's all. But they don't even need much, and once they get that once, that just stays in a secure account, and yeah, it's pretty quick. They don't even ask you to put in your bank account number every time, or social security number. I think I just put in my name or something and select the bank account.
Hmm.
Biogero
And I think there
Agnew.
was like a confirmation email or something like that that you have to do, which is good, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, I've been doing this since December, and I've had no fraudulent transactions or anything on my account. Everything is good to go, and I don't know, it just makes me feel better as a human being to be able to help them, as little as it may be. But you know, I don't know, I feel better doing something.
I do too. I'm glad that I have been able to donate sometimes, even if it's only been several times, I think, so far. But um, yeah, it's always nice to uh, have some extra wealth to be able to share with, even if it's not um, buying gifts for friends or family. It's nice to be able to share a little extra with um, someone who needs it. And this is Kasenga was a person I've gotten to know mostly through Facebook Messenger, but I've gotten to know him, and so I know that he and his orphaned um, children he takes care of need help, and so I also feel blessed when I'm able to do that.
Yeah, I first did it for their Christmas party. I'm like, they have to have food and these other things, and I felt bad because it was so little. But seriously, it was a good thing. Made me feel good,
Yeah,
and I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, that was the best Christmas present that I gave this year, and just to see their happy, smiling faces, and to know that they had food and they were able to um, I don't know, use the funds for whatever they need. And it's amazing how they go out into their own community and they volunteer and they help others.
it is. Yeah, and um, they do. That was especially going to be part of their Christmas program. Unfortunately, we didn't get all the funds raised. It was like I forget, $500 or $600 USD at least, maybe more, worth of funds they needed to meet their planned ideas, which most of which were not only a Christmas party with food and maybe some gifts, but most of it was community help and community fundraising and spiritual education, which mostly means Christian, but still spiritual education and community outreach and um, yeah, that. So it's very meaningful. Most of what they do is not just for themselves either. Um, they do mostly act, I think, for the community and for each other. I've been on this wavelength too for a long time. Not so much acting on it as much as I am now, but I've believed that um, we are all a connected species, and we have, especially those of us who have some wealth, I think have this almost obligation, or it's certainly important, I feel, to share excess with others. And um, it was Michael Tellinger who originally brought this word to me, but Ubuntu is an African word that I think is common among most of Africa, if not all. Um, it means contributionism, and that is mostly a tribal thing, I believe, but I also believe that it can be extended to all of humanity and contribute to the functioning and well-being and support of people more than just yourself and the tribe, and then it circulates. Um, Another thing I heard about Ubuntu is that they're so connected in some tribes of Africa. traditionally at least, that, and I think still, that when a person does something wrong, instead of being shunned and punished for their wrongdoing, they're usually encircled, kind of in a ceremonial way almost, by their village people, by the people in their tribe, and then the people tell them positive things about who they are and their positive character traits.
Oh shit, we almost had him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kasango might be on with us soon, so hopefully he will. Yeah, so that's a bit about Ubuntu that I've heard of. I hope I'm sharing that correctly, but contributionism and oneness basically with the community.
Well, it's so important, and it's a big deal to me, like, karmically, and that might sound selfish, like, if you do for somebody else, you're going to have blessings, and a lot of times it goes the opposite direction, but it's very important for us to help each other, whether it's your neighbor or like Casanyo and the kids, over there in Africa. And a lot of people think, well, people here need help. Well, that's true, but people everywhere need help. And I don't know, if we can just work together and get this done, it'd be amazing. So do you have any idea how Casanyo became a orphan?
I don't know about the details of that story. I know that he was an orphan as a child. Yeah, I just don't know that. Of course, there must have been ways that people took care of him and he was able to grow up. I might have this incorrect. I'm not sure, but I think he didn't even finish primary schooling, high school, even, which is why he doesn't have another um, official job like in town or anything. But he created this orphanage anyway. And so he did this because he wants to offer a home of some sort to orphaned children who need somewhere to go. And this is actually kind of, I think, a Uganda-wide problem with the possibly government and at least country, more than just the reality orphanage, but it's, I think, Uganda-wide, that young women often need to marry to be able to get money, sometimes to finish school or after high school graduation, but to be able to have a home. Otherwise, a lot of them become orphaned, and all the troubles that come with that type of life. Yeah, so then they become married and usually have children at a young age, quite often, and that's why there's somewhat of a premature birth and then orphanage and orphaned children problem, or kind of widespread issue in Uganda, because this is such a cultural thing. That also there's not much in the way of sexual education with
It's so
teenagers.
important over there too, because I know the AIDS epidemic, is a big reason that there's so many orphans.
There's Kasango.
Hi!
Hello, welcome.
Oh shit, we'll just see you again. No! Oh, he's trying to come back.
My network.
Hello.
Oh.
Congratulations on getting accepted to high school. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you, Antesa, for this good opportunity that you have given to us. Thank you so much. Brother Troy, thank you so much for this good big opportunity. May God bless you and God bless you abundantly.
Of
Back to
course.
school. Back to School Foundation as our program. Kasha is here. Just finished PRE exams, scored 12 aggregates, and he's so happy for the support towards us and him and others at Orphanage. We are so happy. May God bless everyone who is us, everyone that is willing to support us, everyone that have ever supported us. May God bless each and everyone. I want everyone to hear from Kasha names and what the dreams as an orphan, the stories, all. Because Kasha is among the kids that I started with in 2018. So I want to hear from him to tell you the stories, our parents and what. Because for me, I just found Kasha on the streets, the community streets. So I decided to bring him in the orphanage just because Kasha's parents were too drunk. So I decided to bring Kasha around in the orphanage to start a life or to give him a new hope for better tomorrow. Because that all of us want for have a better tomorrow, have a better future for better future, so to have better family in future, or you bring light for others in life. Let me give this opportunity to Kasha to tell you more about herself, himself, then story. Kasha.
Kasha.
Uh, Good morning to everyone. My name is Ukasha. I'm gonna join S1 this. I'm gonna join high school this year, and I thank everyone who has ever supported us. I joined this orphanage in 2018, Reality Orphanage Mayuge, and I thank everyone who's supporting us and willing to support us. Me and my sisters and brothers. This is our director Samuel, and is is also supporting us to continue with our studies. Again, this director found me on the street, and he brought me in the orphanage. He started taking care of me and the other brothers and sisters, which I'm representing. Yes.
Kasha is not clear, maybe English, but at least you can hear him who is the little.
I think he did a
Can
very good job. I understood what he was saying.
I could hear
yes.
that.
Okay, that's great to hear. Kasha, you can call upon everyone that is listening, that is watching this video, to support your fellow brother and sister that you are representing right here. Yes, call upon everyone that is watching and is listening to this.
I call upon everyone who is listening this
This.
who's listening and watching this video to support us, me and the other brothers and sisters which I'm representing. And I also thank everyone who has supported us, who has supported me to to complete my primary studies, and I'm going to join the high school this year. I'm so happy that you supported me in the primary levels. I completed them, and my dreams, I wanna be a pilot in future. And brother Samuel is supporting me to complete my dreams. He found
As I've heard from Ukasha, he wants to be a pilot in the future. But I can't make Ukasha's dream come true without your support. So I want to join hands with you. Everyone that is watching and listening to us, please come up and support us with anything you can. Cash wants to be a Kasha wants to be a pilot. Brother Troy, I hope the other time we heard from other kids, they want to be teachers, they want to be doctors, they want to be journalists. So that's all. So different dreams and goals, but all of them want to give them the right and to achieve their goals for better
Right.
tomorrow. Yes. At first, we want to talk about the reason is why each and everyone wants to be in school, each and everyone wants to be educated. The reason is why everyone wants to be educated in this world. Because here in Uganda, you can't try anything, you can't do anything without being educated. The reason is why you have to be in school, why kids have to go to school. There are reasons, a lot of reasons. The first reason why someone has to be in school, why someone has to be educated is about communication, communication, communication. Because you can't communicate with someone at a certain level when you're speaking your local language. If I was not educated or I was not even gain a little that I speak right now, I've been not communicated with you because for you don't know our local language. Unless we speak Rusoga, for you don't know Rusoga. So communication is the key to everything. If someone gets communication or someone gets communication, that's all. Social skills. There's social skills like listening, using manners, respecting personal spaces, and cooperation. Point number three is sense of accomplishment. Sense of accomplishment. Then more productive to the community. If someone is educated in a community, be productive, not unproductive. Maybe in the meetings, planning, doing everything for the good of the community. That's being educated. So if you reach someone who's not educated, will be with no plan at the moment, will look for nothing to do. That's all. Better communication with others. Critical thinking and minds. Critical thinking. So if you find someone without who's not being educated, will be with no critical thinking as personal critical thinking. So I don't think that everyone that is out there that is listening to us wants these students to be like in such form.
Well,
I
and
want
Troy
to
brought it to my attention that you were actually an orphan as well, and so to me, it's awesome and a true blessing that you're out there helping other kids that are going through the same thing that you went through.
yes. For me, I was once, as I explained to you at first, I was once an orphan, and that's why I came out to fight for desperate lives like Ukasha and the other children that I take care of. That's why I'm here to raise a voice for them, to sound for them because they can't speak as I was still younger, like me, the way I was. So that's why I'm here. That's why I started the Light of Antimagia in 2018 to give renewed hope for them, for their better tomorrow. That's what I want to do. That's what I do for them because that's what I do because that's what I do. That's what I have not reached the level that I want because there's more children here in the community and other villages that are suffering that have
Mhm.
not yet there due to lack of funds in supporting them with all requirements that are needed, maybe in sleeping, eating, all educations. Because even this one that I have, they have not yet even gained their necessary requirements as kids, like decker beds, food in time, then and the others, mosquito nets, mattresses, all. That's a kind example. So that's what I fight for as someone as a director of Orphanage Uganda. I don't want these kids to
So
be
did
like me. I don't
Mhm.
want these kids to be like
you
me.
right? I'm just curious, did you start the orphanage or did you find the orphanage and decide to work there, or how did that all come about?
Yes, that came about just because I was once this. So I decided to set up an orphanage, fight for the kids like Ukasha, Cherry, Patrick, Juma, and others. As I explained in my story, that I grew up in a loving family that showed love to me. The family that I was not even related to. So they showed how someone has to be loved. How really how can you show love to someone that you are not even related to? After gaining the experience that you have to do with a loving heart, even though someone is not related to you, you have to love him or her the way you love yourself, the way you love your kids. So I said to set up an orphanage in 2018 to fight for the separate lives like Ukasha, Cherry, and others. So that's how I came with an orphanage to fight for the separate lives like Ukasha, Juma, and others. Then I was still giving the reasons why someone has to be educated, someone has to get educations, identification of skills. That is a point for someone to be educated. Great sense of discipline. Great sense of discipline. Here in Africa we have our cultural disciplines. So if someone is not educated more, would have gained anything like cultural discipline, sense of discipline in him or her. Yes, after that, we have get the disadvantages that the disadvantage of someone being uneducated here in Uganda. There is what we call economic crisis of COVID-19. This brings to the low wages, the low salary wages, the community, which leads to low wages, which came due to COVID-19 in our community. Low crisis of Ukrainian war, which leads low wages, leading some of the children to drop out. This COVID-19 caused many of the children to drop out from schools. I hope Brother Troy and Tessa saw the post that I posted of a young girl, was of 13 years. That girl was in our community, and he was very young. He was a 13 years, yes, 13 years. She got married at an early age, 13, just because she got pregnant. But this came just due to COVID-19, and he dropped out of school.
Yeah, it ruined a lot of stuff.
Yes, he dropped out of school. He started life, but which life here in Africa? Had life without having education. That's hard life in Africa. I've ever seen so many girls, so many young boys suffering. You're suffering. Then we have drop out of school due to lockdown. This lockdown really affected us a lot. Many children dropped out due to lockdown. It was of 2 years, no schooling, no what. So many
Yeah,
children
like
dropped
like
out.
here we did online school, but you guys don't have that really, right?
I beg your pardon.
Here when we had the lockdown, I had to school my kids and we had to do like online schooling and such, but you guys don't really have that, correct?
Yes, we tried that. We are having homeschooling. That's why, for me and the kids, we never had all the required materials for the children to learn at home, but we tried our level best to give them at least some in COVID-19. We tried our level best. as orphanage. But I'm talking about the situation that if these children are not in the orphanage and they're out of the orphanage, what will they experience if you don't give them light of schooling, light of being in school? What will happen to them? That's what I'm trying to explain more. If not giving them light to know how the education, someone not being educated, how will it look like to them? So I was giving you dropout of due to lockdown, that was explained. Child labor. Here in Africa, Uganda, mostly in our region, if a child drops out of school, he starts what called child labor, like sugarcane cutting. In eastern regions, have sugarcane cutting. It's dangerous, but they go with that just because they have dropped out due to lack of funds to support them in school. Drug abuse and peer groups. They don't have funds, but they run for drugs, peer groups, and so many others. When they're still young, 9 years, 8, 10. That's what really what we don't want for these children to go for. We want them to give them the light, the bright future for better tomorrow. So I call upon everyone that is watching, please support us, support Light Orphanage in Uganda with anything you can. Kasha is heading to high school, but now suspended almost a week, and so yes, now a week, not schooling due to lack of funds. Due to lack of funds, like buying the requirements, tuition, and other things. Plus, the fellow brothers and sisters for him. The next point is early pregnancy. Early pregnancy, which causes early marriages. If young girls are desperately there and no schooling, they yearn for boys, so ending up having early pregnancies, which causes early marriages. But this comes due to not having school, not schooling. So I call upon everyone. I normally post such things about early marriages in Africa, Uganda, Eastern region. Our region is ranked in the all Uganda as the poorest region. Is ranked as the poorest region in Uganda, Eastern region. Is ranked with the high marriage rate in the all Uganda. But what causes this? The dropouts and the lack of funds to support them in school. So it's ranked as the poorest. Is ranked as the poorest in the all Uganda, the poorest is region in the all Uganda. It's our region that we're in, and with high marriage rate in all Uganda, Mayuge district. But what is caused this real? Someone not being educated, drop out of school due to lack of funds, child abuse, so just to go on streets. So, but if you come up and support one child at Light Orphanage in Uganda, you should be giving him hope for better tomorrow. So I call upon everyone that is watching this video, please.
They're definitely the bright future for not only your village, but your country and even the world. And like you were saying earlier, the post that I was sharing with everyone, even the smallest amount helps. If everybody could just donate the smallest amount, it will help so much because every little penny adds up.
Yes, that's what you said is right. As you are seeing, this is the budget. All the items that are required for the child are here. As you are seeing, this is the budget. There is even 1.1 USA dollar. 1.1 USA dollar. 6, 5. Then we have 1.4. All these. So I call upon everyone with anything you can. Or it will be 5, 1.1, 3, 10, 20, anything you can. Anything you can to support these students to go back to school. Because I don't think that there's anyone there that wants someone to not be educated. I know you know what education means to someone.
So important.
Yes. I know that everyone that is watching this video know what education means to someone. I know that you know that being uneducated in this world, in Africa here right now, go nowhere. Jobs, you can't search for job without certificates here in Uganda. The reason why I don't have a job, a professional job, just because I'm not a graduate and I'm not having profession in anything that I can do with the certificate. Me myself, I never completed my academics just because I never had money. The people that raised me, they never had money. They supported me with what they managed. So I stopped there. I never completed my academics. And my dreams ended there. So I don't want these children's dreams to end.
You're still following your dreams, though. Look at you. Look what you've done. Look how good you're doing. But yes, I see what you're saying. Like, with an education, imagine how much further that you could have gone, you know? But I'm proud of you, and I think you're doing a very good job. We do have to go to our second music break, and then we'll come back. Ukasha, congratulations on being accepted to high school. I'm so proud of you, and I hope that what we're doing tonight, we can raise some funds and get you everything you need. So on this music break, we have Mr. Brick Casey with Main Thing, and then we have Nonye Toria. She is from Ghana, South Africa. She's going to be singing Paper Loving. It's a remix, and it's featuring this guy named Chris. And then she's going to sing Yanga Monyaye, and then, yeah, we'll be right back right after this music break. And this break is about 15 minutes. So I don't know if you want to bring Babirye or whatever her name is, or any other kids for us to meet. Feel free to do that on our music break, and we'll get right back to it shortly. I hate to cut you off, but I kind of gotta.
Keep going, baby, now don't stop that. Vanilla chocolate flavor, the only one that I'm searching for. You don't can't complain. You so sure every time it rains. Not around here like golden state. I just feel like you my main thing. That drop that, keep going, baby, now don't you stop that. Stop that. Think about you for more and more. Making it pop and drop and swing. I could be the carrier, you my queen. Yeah, you look good, but you insane. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby, now don't you stop that. Who's them dudes in the back with the black on? Swing deep, don't free slack on. Come to the money, honey, I'ma get a stack on. Excuse me, mom, can I get my Mac on? To the left, throw it to the right. Do it like you wanna do it till we all night. From the block, kids know how to act hard. Like brick house, women with a fat backyard. In the club with me, and my man's killing that. In the back door with me, and my man chilling that. I'm on the floor, I'm like, dang, she killing that. Slow it down, I'm feeling that. I'm a guy that I get them. Play a like me, to a you with them. Call you a lollipop, and I wanna make up you number one, my top choice of pick. Cause you give it to me, mom. Go, girl. Now don't stop. No, girl. Break it down for me, get it going. Can you keep it going? No. Now give it to me, mom. Go, girl. Now don't stop. No, girl. Hey, break it down for me, get it going. Cause you got it going on. Can't deny that it's too fly. Anytime that I look you in the eye, a phenomenon that I can't explain. Like the things you're doing to my brain. You don't only wanna take away my pain. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby. Now don't you stop that. Can't stop thinking about how you move and all the things that I'ma do to you. Truth just might be a little bit strange. Don't care if I don't even know your name. That's why I wanna tell you this simple and plain. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby. Now don't you stop that. Who's them chicks all thick with the pumps on? Lumps in the front, back, with the bumps on. Not a cat hoping that he get his humps on. I'm way beyond with them other chumps on. Sweet enough to eat and he might bite you. Wanna make love to you, I don't wanna fight you. Nobody like you, not a one like you. When you come around, no telling what he might do. Right now in the club, who the dawn? Don't a man that got it going on later on. You can tell by the dance if you digging this song. You can tell I've been digging you all night long. I love to be digging in you all night long. Party right here, hottie all night long. Let's flex it to the coat check, exit to the Lexus, triple exit. Come on, give it to me, mom. Go, go, girl. Nah, don't stop, no, girl. Break it down for me, get it going. Keep it going, on and on. Now give it to me, mom. Go, go, girl. Nah, don't stop, no, girl. Break it down for me, get it going. Cause you got it going on and on. I like it when you pop it, drop it, swing. Nah, don't stop it, doing that thing. Go, go, girl, keep doing that thing. I just wanna make you my main thing. You pop it, drop it, swing. Nah, don't stop it, doing that thing. Go, go, girl, keep doing that thing. I just wanna make you my main thing. Vanilla chocolate flavor, girl, the only one that I'm searching for. You the one for me, and I can't complain. You sunshine anytime it rains. Not around, then I might go insane. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby. Now don't you stop that. Honey, you so sweet, I can't ignore. Think about you, go more and more. Making it pop and stop and swing. I could be the carrier, you my queen. Yeah, it look good, but you insane. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby. Now don't you stop that. I don't get nothing with you can fly. Anytime that I look you in the eye, a phenomenon that I can't explain. Like the things you do to my brain. You the only one to take away my pain. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby. Now don't you stop that. Can't stop thinking about how you move and all the things that I'ma do to you. This might be a little bit strange. Don't care if I don't even know your name. That's why I wanna tell you this simple and plain. I just wanna make you my main thing. I like it when you pop that, drop that, keep going, baby. Now don't you stop that. She know. She know me treat her better than her man. But she a worry about the millions. You love me for true, but certain things in life you say you want to do. Hey, so you say me need to understand that you are made for a money man. But if you can't love me now, don't love me later. When my later is much greater, it only proves that you love the paper, my paper. Boy, me gon' love you now, me gon' love you later. When your later is much greater, cause me a one-man trafficator. Yeah. You say I love him, but I love you more. It took me shopping sprees and brought me finer, but I got it more. You're the one that gave me proper loving. In my head, all the money. Everything satisfies me vanity, but in my heart,
It's normal
you are the only
for
one
this time of year.
that I would be loving from now till the end
The sinuses dry out. I know I have tissues with tons of blood in it. It's just because
It's not just swirls, it's just blood.
That's fine.
When your later is much greater, cause me a one-man trafficator. Girl, I know you want stability, but that don't mean to you to sell it all over the Pino. Bright lights, fast cars, and the fast lane make you lose
It's okay.
sanity.
So
But
just keep
I
it
can't
sturdy.
believe it, tell yourself so
Keep
sharp.
having that for a
Get the
little bit,
money,
lay
you
down
would
if you
make
need
man
to.
break your parts. But
And I thought I heard you say you're still hungry. Let Sissy know. So before she goes to bed, she can make you something else to eat, okay? I love you, Sissy. My bestest friend.
Boy, me gon' love you now, me gon' love you later. When your later is much greater, cause me a one-man trafficator. If you can't love me now, don't love me later. When my later is much greater, it only proves that you love the paper. Boy, me gon' love you now, me gon' love you later. When your later is much greater, cause me a one-man trafficator. I want you to learn the hard hard way, so I'm taking you to lover school. You want money just for party, girl. You think I'm a fool. Every piece of my heart I gave away. I gave it away to you. Why don't you understand, babe? What I feel for you is true. So you can't love me now, don't love me later. When my later is much greater, it only proves that you love the paper, my paper. Boy, me gonna love you now, me gonna love you later. When your later is much greater, me on that trafficator. Da. Show me your younger, show me your younger, eh. Show me your younger, yeah. Yeah.
None, yeah.
I love music, kind of music, kind of everywhere I am. I love music, kind of music, kind of everywhere I am. Show me your younger, 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 show me your younger. Yeah, come, let's wind it down. Make the people dance to the sound. Show me your younger, let's hit the town. Let's thank Almighty God that it's Friday. Awake, shaking your waist, don't stop till you dance all day. With a groove, the night your way. If you like the island tap, and take a bath. Now the music is alive, way. We got the hottest music down there. You can start from today. We'll be hitting it from Monday to Sunday. Everybody get ready. It's time for us to get steady. Everywhere we go, find your music, now number one. It's like a music. Everywhere I am. I love music. Like a music. Everywhere I am. Show me your younger. 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 Around the world, seen a lot of faces, seen a lot of places, but nowhere like Nigeria. You gotta stand up for what you believe. That's where you can achieve. Where you call the shots, sleep my fast, and you're I beg to wear your face. I feel like people come to wear your face. It don't really matter because we're all in the race. That's all we can be till we all miss the danger. I love music, like the music, like I am, everywhere I am. I love music, like the music, like I am, everywhere I am. Show me your younger, show me your younger, show me your younger, show me your younger. Show me your younger, show me your younger, show me your younger. Nonye, monjaye orimi, monjaye orimi, monjaye orimi. Monjaye orimi, monjaye orimi, monjaye orimi. Some do good just for the doing. See everything just for the seeing. Don't even care what you're receiving. Through all the highs just for the lying. Fine, fine lady. I don't wanna be your baby. All I wanna do is get crazy. Wanna have me, just get ready. Now wait, sin nasabi. I didn't tell you all my how life is. Now so show love with your heart and show love with your soul. Monjage ovimbi, monjage ovimbi, monjage ovimbi. 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 Some people help just for the helping. Few people love just for true loving. Eat everything just for the giving. Don't even care what you be receiving. I'm a fine, fine, fine lady. I don't wanna be your baby. All I wanna do is get crazy. Wanna have me, just get ready. Now wait, sin nasabi. I didn't tell you all my how life is. Now so show love with your heart and show love with your soul. Monjage ovimbi, monjage ovimbi, monjage ovimbi. 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 Swag beat, funky, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nonne, nonne, nonne.
Thank you all so much for tuning in this evening to our Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. This evening we have Mr. Troy Bacon. We did have Casano on there, and he said he's going to try to get back on. I'm not sure exactly how we lost him, but it was so awesome to see him, and Akasha, I'm so proud of that guy.
Yeah, me too. Good for him. It's always great to see the accomplishments of young students, even going into high school or during and after high school. I think that's a very valuable and honorable thing is education and pursuing education.
Definitely important. So I'm just go ahead.
Yeah, either of us could try messaging Kasango. I think he left during the music break. Just because we didn't have anything to talk about during the music break, while the music was playing. But he did message me saying that he has more points he wants to talk about.
Yeah, and I think that'd be epic, and it's definitely something that we do need to discuss, and very important to hear. Sorry, I'm trying to get this under wraps. But most definitely, very important to hear more points of what his goal is, and for him, I know that's one of his regrets in life is that he didn't get the full education that he could have had, but he's doing such an amazing job, even though he didn't complete that, but definitely super epic. I'm so proud of him and Akasha, and I'm hoping he comes back on with, oh man, I'm so bad with names. Let me see if I can find it again.
Yeah, more of the children, another child who can speak.
So I believe her name was, hold on, let me look. I went the wrong way. Baberie, I don't know. I'm not good at pronunciation either, but she's the one that he was talking about as far as like, he wants to continue her education so she doesn't depend on marriage or whatnot in order to, live her life. And for
Yeah,
me, that'd be super important for her to just be, individual and be able to have her own prospect of life instead of trying to depend on somebody else.
I agree. And of course, it's one thing to talk about that being such
I
a
can't hear you.
widespread issue as
What's going on?
teenage marriage in Uganda or even teenage pregnancy. That's also a problem because of lack of
I see
sex
you
education.
talking. I just can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying that it's one thing to be talking about this problem in Uganda of teenage marriage and teenage pregnancy for money and for lack of sex education, usually. But it's another that I've actually seen pictures of a young woman. I think she's only 13 or 14. She gave birth at, um, where was it? Anyway, she gave birth to a young baby just like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe. And
And she's a baby
uh,
herself.
yeah, that was posted on Facebook. I think it's probably still on Saving the Reality Orphanage group that I started for them, so that people can see the what they're going through and some of the difference that donations make for them. Kasango posts on there regularly. And anyway, I saw this young woman. I think she's about 13 or 14, and her baby. And so that's another um, couple individuals now that need help at the orphanage. Um, so it's not just children who can walk and talk and do things. It's also a baby now and toddlers at the orphanage too, the reality orphanage. And that's another reason that it's so important and meaningful to me too, to get donations to them so that um, they those basically babies don't have to grow up in very poor conditions and grew up drinking dirty water or even not having enough food every day. Um, I don't think I don't. I believe that no person on Earth should be raised in substandard conditions. Um, that's one thing, especially that has become much more of a solid belief since my walk-in. I think it comes from the serious aspect of my walk-in, from Sirius A, that um, something I'll be talking about more soon, probably about in my autobiography too, is some of the basic and even advanced beliefs of Syrian cosmology um, that I just know and came in with, that they're not Buddhism, but they're honestly similar to Buddhism in some ways. And one of the core tenets of that is um, seeing every single living sentient being as something and someone very sacred and deserving of the same equal opportunities, certainly opportunities to become what they wish and live the life that they wish.
Yeah, and I think I just found that photo of the girl you were talking about just holding her baby there in the red dress or shirt. I'm not sure if that's a dress or shirt, but
Yeah, yeah, I know that was posted on Saving the Reality Orphanage
mm-hmm.
Facebook.
Yeah, I did just now find it as I was scrolling through and saving pictures to share yet another link for people to go and donate to. And I don't know, it's super important for us to do this, and the whole world affects all of us. It's kind of like the butterfly effect, but we can help people overseas or whatnot to accomplish their dreams. And like Casanyo was talking about, like, this stuff is super important to get their education and to be able to become individuals with a bright, prospect or future.
Yeah,
So important.
I believe that. And even though one orphanage seems small, um, each life there is sacred, as I was saying, just as every other life is, and no one should have to be forced to um, basically be impoverished and suffer um, if they want better conditions. And yeah, this does affect the rest of the world too. And even if it isn't like a dramatic effect, by donating a little bit to help, um, even once or multiple times to help the reality orphanage, that energetically helps the collective, because we are all a collective, even though our biological bodies are individual um, and seemingly separate. Not only do we share resources, but um, it's collective consciousness, and I see that in the way that um, I've I've attracted people, some positive and negative and various types, to me subconsciously, and everyone does. Um, we trying to think of examples of this, but yeah, it's basically collective consciousness in the way that when we uplift one other person, then that uplifts the rest of the world. In the same way, if we just allow them to continue suffering and in what some people would call failing, or maybe not failing, but yeah, living in kind of chaotic ways, um, then that affects the rest of us too negatively. And so, why not just make a better world for all of us?
Yeah. I just can't. Okay, so there he is. Hopefully it works this time again. Damn it.
Hmm.
Oh, almost.
Well, he's trying to get on again.
I'm just gonna say, keep trying. Don't give up. We got this. But yeah, Ukasha, I'm so proud of him. And like Casanyo was saying, like, he still needs funds to go to school and to participate. And all these kids need funds. And if you go to Saving the Reality Orphanage and look at those pictures and look at, you can just, I don't know. I'm just so grateful that Casanyo is doing what he is doing and participating and helping these kids to have a brighter future. Even though he doesn't feel like his future is as bright as it should be because he didn't get the schooling that he needed, he's trying to help these kids to get to the next level, and it's super important.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully, he can come back on again soon. At least he's trying. Um, Certainly, we could, if he doesn't come on again tonight, we can definitely do this again um, sometime and do more of these um, talks about fundraisers for him, and also updates about good that we have been able to accomplish. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping this reaches like far and wide and we get people donating, whether it's the smallest amount or not. Every little penny counts. Whatever you can donate. I know it can seem like a lot during these COVID times and whatnot. But yeah, definitely every little penny counts. Sorry.
Yeah,
We almost had him again. I'm like, come on, we can do this.
that's
I'm
okay.
going to tell him again, find the
Um,
best reception.
yeah, hopefully he does get on again. Trying to think of what else we can talk about for the orphanage and the fundraiser. I guess I could talk more about collective consciousness and even touch on my business, hypnotherapy business again. I also feel like I didn't quite introduce myself properly in the beginning.
Right? And I didn't even do your bio. I'm sorry. Drop the ball.
Yeah, so I may as well share that now before we finish, at least. See if Casango comes on. But so my name is Troy J. Bacon. I am a certified hypnotherapist. I live in Seattle right now. My wife and I will probably move out of Seattle in the near future. But anyway, we live in Seattle. We're probably going to stay in Washington for the foreseeable future. But I work remotely. And I learned all of my hypnotherapy and even Reiki now remotely. And so some people are surprised by that, even though remote education has been common for years, um, especially during the pandemic. Um, I enrolled in the Hypnosis Motivation Institute in mid 2021 after my walk-in experience, which was November 11th, 2020. And then I went through a death and dying experience internally. I felt like my heart was a void. I had practically no feeling of who I was for a while. I had these after this walk-in event, which in retrospect wasn't like a near-death experience, but it was kind of dramatic. I had a 3-week long headache. It felt like someone was squeezing a vice grip on my brain and pineal gland, and I think that was part of the adjustment from the walk-in, adjusting to the at that time what was much lower energy in my brain and head. Um, and so that happened. I had also neck pains, which is a common symptom of a walk-in event. Also forgetting who I was, but also memories would bubble up from my subconscious. This is another thing about the subconscious that's curious I could talk about. But memories would bubble up, and it's not like I don't feel like my walk-in was a complete exchange. I still have and maintain some basic aspects and the memories of the Troy that was here before, but the walk-in is, I think, basically a tag team particle from our oversoul. And that's what I've learned and connected with multiple times. The walkout particle is actually in a gray body right now, and that's where we switched out with each other from, where I came from. And so these memories would come up. Most of them weren't very dramatic or significant memories, but they were like just random memories that would bubble up at random times. But they didn't feel like my memories. They felt like someone else's memories, even though I knew everything about them. So that's a symptom of walk-in event too. All of it has to happen, or a lot of this has to happen too. It's not easy to diagnose spiritually. So I went to a friend to get a quantum healing hypnosis session, and in that I not only visited multiple past lives of mine, but channeled my oversoul. And so that was different than any healing modality I've ever tried before in my probably 15 or more years of studying integrative medicines and energy medicines. And so then I decided to learn hypnosis because there was something very potent and different about it. And so then I enrolled in HMI, Hypnosis Motivation Institute. That's where my clinical education came from, clinical hypnotherapy. See if Kasango can come on again. He's trying.
Damn.
And so then I learned there are things that came through organically, like flashes and memories that came through in dreams too after the walk-in. Anyway, I learned this hypnotherapy, and I can do some of the clinical hypnotherapy still, but it's not like my main forte. It's something I've learned. But when I started doing the clinical hypnotherapy, basic clinic hypnotherapy things that I was taught, practicing with friends in the beginning at the time. I'm still working with a good friend on some things, but what happened quite naturally without even me trying or intending was angels would show up. I think it was Archangel Michael, Metatron, maybe some others at first. Then some other archangels would come in here and there. Some alien beings too sometimes when I was going through major walk-in clearings and activations, especially in 2022. Actually, I prefer the term star people or star being more than alien or ET, or interstellar or intergalactic people. Anyway, so one of my motivations for hypnotherapy was for my deeper healing at first, and then to teach it and share this service with others. But I had a lot to heal. I had chronic pains after the walk-in, and I've healed those and cleared those up, largely from hypnotherapy and inner work and shadow work. But part of it, I also have to admit, is probably from increasing the alkalinity in my diet and eating more just whole raw vegetables, and most of what I eat now is just vegetables and plant stuff. Occasionally eat a little bit of fish and some meat, but usually not so much. With Reiki healing, my empath abilities also awakened more, including my geomantic earth empath senses, and I started to sense foods, the energies of foods more in my evolution. One thing I wanted to share about the subconscious that I've observed is that even though I had this walk-in experience, that it took me like 6 or 7 months to even start feeling like I belong in this body first. But the subconscious is like something individual to each of us. We each have our own subconscious intelligence and memories. And I think part of that comes from the Akashic and inter-lifetime memories from the soul. Some of it certainly does. Some of it is inherited from our ancestors and what our bodies have been taught and conditioned with growing up. Some of our subconscious is sometimes interconnected with the web of life too. That is a part of it. But it's interesting how I came in as a walk-in, but my body's and subconscious slate wasn't just cleaned. I had to do all the work myself to clean it out. And there's always stuff to monitor. It's so easy to get conditioned and get obsessed and get programmed and more. But yeah, it's interesting with the subconscious because it not only is our body, or our body is our subconscious too. That's where body syndromes come in, which I've learned a bit about. I want to specialize in that more and about body syndromes and hypnosis, because I've changed and healed things too here and there, just through my subconscious and body, including post-COVID brain healing, which I've accomplished.
Oh my
Also,
gosh. Post-COVID stuff, it is insane.
it is.
We're going
Yeah.
through so much stuff as far as breathing. On Valentine's Day of all days, my heart, I have to go and do a stress test, and then I'm going to get a patch on that will monitor my heart for a week. And I'm like, well, that's kind of relative because it's Valentine's Day and hearts and all the other shit. It's kind of all related, but um, it's insane. Like some people are born with extra valves, some people have extra arteries, and I believe that COVID really upset whatever's going on within me. Yes, as a 20 whatever year old, I was a meth user for a while, and that's not good. So I know I've abused myself in certain ways that I regret, but we all make mistakes. We learn from it. So luckily I'm getting that done. But COVID, oh my gosh, like even people that haven't got it like that bad still have after effects. It's insane.
Yeah, and I noticed that my first bout with COVID was January, 2022, over a year ago. But I've had a couple of other viruses last year and even this last December through January. Um, they didn't test positive for COVID. One of them was weird because it was in like maybe it was even May through July or almost to July 2022. It was like a weird long thing. My wife and I both got. Hers was diagnosed as a bronchitis infection, but mine was diagnosed as a viral syndrome. And it was weird with me because it wasn't just all the COVID symptoms at once or multiples at once. It was like one after another. Hey, Katrina,
Hello!
is that
Welcome!
welcome?
Yay, you made it! I'm so grateful. Shit. Alright. Well, carry on.
Okay. What I was saying about that is I had this weird virus that was like I'd have chills at one time or some days, and then some days I would then have occasional extra warmth, not quite a fever, but just feel extra warm. Um, then some days I would feel extra fatigued. Um, some days I would feel muscle pains. It was weird, but that was why I didn't get COVID tested at first because it was just one weird thing after another. Um, it damaged my brain anyway. Messed
Yes.
with my dreams. Dreams are interesting that I've observed that viruses mess
Hey,
with.
like, are yours super chaotic too? Like, I don't know. Mine
They
are
are.
very confusing as far as like, why the hell is this person in my dream? Or it's super chaotic, like end of the world sort of scenarios.
It's interesting. What happened with me with at least a couple different viruses. I've never had this before the walk-in or before COVID, but these viruses messed with my brain and the way I dream. And when I had them, um, what I remembered of my dreams was just like nonsensical, weird stuff, like just scenes of mannequins or what looked like modern art or just stuff happening, but it wasn't symbolic. It wasn't like a story or a message like my dreams normally would be. Hey, Katrina.
Welcome.
Ah, it's yeah, nice.
Welcome.
God is grace to be back here. We have just been struggling with the network to be here. Thank you,
It's good
Lord,
to
for
see you
making this
again.
for us.
I'm so grateful you guys are here. It's so good to see your
Into
faces.
yeah, come decide. Some of them are still sleeping. These are some that they are able to wake up.
That little guy over there, There, yeah, there he goes. Good job. Good job, sissy.
Yeah,
Oh, I love you guys so much.
I just wait for them. Some of them are this side. Maybe you can make them this side. Come this side because
Hello.
Sam.
So, Troy was saying that you had more points that you wanted to hit on. But please introduce us to these beautiful children.
Yeah, I wanted to explain more about the disadvantages of someone not being educated, to give light so that people they can know more if they leave the student without at least fundraising for them what they can so that they can make them go back to school. There is what we call Eastern Region poverty cycle. Here in this Eastern region, now I explained to you, is the poorest region in in Uganda. It's the poorest region. So impact is going to call upon everyone to support us, because to break this is really hard. We need your support in income that you can. However, it is little, make a difference. Poor health. If someone is uneducated, you don't mind whether what against all the poor health, him or her. Lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. She or him cannot be able to speak or to give out a clear speak to someone to understand. So that's also a point for someone who is not uneducated, someone who is uneducated. So I call upon everyone to support Joel, Kasha, Juma, Blazia with anything you can. Because anything you donate to our fundraiser that Brother Troy set up can make a difference. Can make us get a book like this one, as we're seeing. This book can make Joel to go back to school, can make Juma to go back to school with this one. So come up with anything you can. Yes, lack of communication. Someone who is not educated cannot communicate well to people. So I don't think if it's like example like me, I've not been communicating with you if I'm not educated. If I'm not yet going to school or to learn something like English so I can communicate to you. That's also a point. Unemployment. As I was saying, I told you that for me I wanted to be a journalist in the future. That was my dream, to be a journalist. But I never achieved my dreams. I never achieved my dreams due to lack of funds. I wanted to be a journalist. So I don't want to see Kasha's dreams fail like my dream did. I want to Kasha to be a pilot in future. That's what all I dream for. I don't want Kasha to be unemployed in future like me. That's what I fight. That's what Antessa, Brother Troy fight, to give them a better tomorrow so that they can fight for themselves. Nothing can offer to these children like education. Education is the key to everything in this world. It's the key to everything in this world. Always they say that every pain gives a lesson. Every pain gives a lesson. And every lesson changes a person. I know this is really a pain that we have been passing through for last years that have passed the past years. We've been passing in terrible conditions, the sleeping conditions, food situations, educations, health. I hope this is enough for us. This is enough for these children. I call upon everybody who's watching this video, please donate anything that you can to our fundraiser. Make these children go back to school. This is enough lesson for these children. They are still young to experience, pass through this tough experience, situation is terrible condition that we are in, that we pass through, because we even take 2 days not having food at the orphanage, missing meals. So, but this, so we call upon everyone to support us, please, with anything you can to make the students go back to school. The next point is exploitation. Exploitation is the action or act of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. The act of treating someone unfairly, that comes just because someone is not educated. Exploitation. There is what called gender inequality. Gender inequality. A woman is educated, a man is not educated. That's gender inequality. So I don't hope this will get going to reach at such point. I don't want. I'm not married. I don't have a kid. But I know what it means, someone to be educated. I know what it means because I've experienced this. I've been with these children for years back. So I know what it means. Please come and support us. Whoever is listening this to us, watching this video, please donate anything you can to our fundraiser. Low productivity in society. Someone who is not educated is not productive to the society. He can't give something like knowledge that can bring light to the society. I don't think I want to see these children in such form, without giving ideas, without giving any skills to the society. That's what I don't want. I want Ukasha to come up and give a serious reason, a valuable reason is that helps our society in future. I want to do in the same way. So I want Joelo, Juma, base to be productive to our society in future. Then lack of access to variable. The lack of access to variable. We have not be able to read and write. This one, as we're seeing them, they can't read and write. As we're seeing these children, they can't read and write. Apart from Ukasha and Sam, but these Joelos, but these Patrick, Juma, they can't read and write.
Patrick is so cute.
They can't
No,
read
these
and
kids
write.
are so precious.
Beg your pardon?
No, I said all these kids are so precious. I just love their faces and their energy. And you can just see the positivity as far as you came in and swooped them up and you're helping them out throughout their life. And that gave them, I think, that positive outlook. They see a hopeful future. And so I'm just hoping that we can all come together and fund that and help these kids get through school, have food, all the other things that you guys need.
Yeah, but I think even though I've tried my best for these children, but I think it's not enough, because our vision, our goals not yet reached, like having our home as orphanage, living, renting, having our own home, having like a school, like the white dream. I dream of having our own school. If maybe in future I dream of having our own schools, without this, then we stop these issues of being stressed always back to school. We just be looking for the requirements for these children. But when we have our own school and orphanage, so we reduce the stress of getting nutrition funds for these children. We're just looking for the requirements for these children. In future, if we get our own school. So I can make more happen if we join hands together with someone that is watching this video, that is listening. Please, we can make this happen for these children if we join hands together. With the little you have, can make a difference. As I told you that this is the budget. There are some things that there is brooms. We have brooms in the budget. Is 1.1 USA dollar. 1.1. At school they need a child with a broom. So the broom is 1.1 USA dollars. So you can come up and support us with a broom 1.1.
Yeah, and I feel so bad when all I can send is $20, but like I was saying, every little bit counts. If you can send 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever you can send is so important for Reality Orphanage and beautiful children to succeed and put bearings on their future plans.
Yeah. Every US dollar translates into I think thousands of Uganda shillings, and that may seem like just thousands of those would seem like a lot, but even that that can go further than just any US dollar. It goes in America a lot further.
Yeah, our dollars are worth much more, and I was actually doing that to my husband around Christmas time when I donated for the Christmas fund. And I was like, did you know that $20 equals this amount of money over there in Uganda? And it's a lot. So like I'm saying, every little bit counts. So whatever you guys can give, please do, because like I said, every penny counts, and we need it for a bright and happy future.
Yes.
So I'm curious, Kasengo, what do each of these kids want to become? What are their dreams for their future?
Good question.
Yes. As I told you, Sam, I think Joel, I told you these ones, some of them they can't even read and write. They may think of as the dreams. You may think of someone's going to tell the dreams, but him or her can't read or write. That's why I'm here. They can't read or write or recognize anything by their eyes, something that is written. So this one they can't read, tell that I want to be like this and this. They may tell you first thing because they can't read and write. They can't read and write. That's why I'm here. Call upon everyone. Read and write in Africa.
Like Troy was saying, what does Patrick want to be in the future? Or what do these other kids want to be in the future? What are their dreams? What are they aspiring to be?
Yeah.
What do you want to be? It's okay, don't be shy.
Come on. Say, what do you want to be?
Nurse.
Speak loudly, they want to hear you.
Nurse.
You want to be a nurse?
She wants to be a nurse.
Yes.
Nice.
I want to be a doctor.
Doctor?
Joel, doctor. Juma, how about you? Atengwe? Ataiwe? Speak how you want to be a doctor, want to be anything that you like.
You can even whisper in Casanyo's ear and tell him, and he can tell us if you're too shy.
You get a choy and watch.
You can tell Casanyo. Tell Casango. Just whisper in
this
his
one
ear.
Is shy, as we're seeing him.
Yeah, I was like, if you're shy, just whisper in his ear, and he can tell us. And in case you're too shy, because I get it. I have social anxiety too.
What do you want to end up? What musomesa? What teacher? Yogera nnyo. Yogera ino. So teacher. He wants to be a teacher.
Teacher, good for
That's
you.
Other two. Yes. He wants to be a
my mother
teacher.
is a
Some of
teacher.
them, brother, Troy Lassen, all of them, Shirley and Grace, all of them, some of them, they wanted to be teachers, even the last videos that I've been doing with Brother Troy. Some of them want to be teachers, doctors, pilots. Oh, I hope we hear journalists. All the dreams are big, and I want all these students to achieve their dreams, to graduate, and someone to be a doctor in the future, someone to be a journalist, someone to be a pilot. Yes, that's all what I dream for. Because my passion as Samuel, the reason why I set up the Alt Orphanage Mayuge, is to positively impact orphan children's lives and give them a renewed hope for better tomorrow. I need them to have a better tomorrow than I have ever been, than I ever had me myself. That's what I dream for.
I believe you can achieve it. I believe it's going to happen, and I'm going to do my best to spread the word and try to get it out there. Like I wish instead of being able to produce $20 per month, I could produce more. I wish I was like Oprah Winfrey and I could fund your orphanage and do certain things like that. But hopefully somebody that's watching this can do that. You know, whether it's the smallest amount of money or, you know, funding the whole thing would be epic. It would be super amazing. Because look at these beautiful children. They're so precious. And I love what you're doing, Kazango, with, you know, you yourself being an orphan and going through the same thing that these kids are going through, and you're helping and blessing them. And I'm just so grateful for that.
Yes. Even me, let me tell you, just to tell everyone that anything coin, anything US dollars, he or him, she or him that donates makes a difference. Because one US dollar, if changes to Ghanaian money, it is 3,600. So that's can make us have a room for one child at the orphanage. Can make us get books for children. Can make us have a pen for a child. So I call upon everyone to support us. This is the budget. All Brother Troy shared this. I shared this on all my platforms, social media platforms. I shared this. LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, just log in Kasango Samuel. The GoFundMe link is there on the profile. You can see. So you can donate through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all Twitter. All the links for this GoFundMe are there. So you can donate anything you can through our social media platforms. Even Brother Troy, even Aunt Tessa, I think we shared this fundraiser a long time. So I recall upon everyone to support us through our media platforms, social media platforms, do anything you can. Even though it will be 5, can make best to go back to school, can make I have to go back to school, Joelo, Mukasha, Lazia, all of these ones to go back to school. So I call upon everyone. For me,
And
my experience was
I have shared the link here in the chat rooms, and it's gofundme.me/C405A757. And I know you have a couple of those. And then there's another link that you can share through, which I've been doing, which is through SendWave. And it takes a little bit at first to get that attached, but there's no money that comes out of it either way as far as like fees and such. So SendWave I prefer because I do appreciate GoFundMe, but it does take a little bit of money out that should just be going to the whole thing. But I totally get it. But yeah, SendWave is another way to send it. So if you guys have any questions as far as how to send money, just contact me or Troy, and we'll send you different links and such to get there. So Kasango, can you tell us what websites you have for the orphanage and as far as fundraising, etc.?
Beg your pardon. What do I have for what?
Links for like your website and fundraisers for GoFundMe.
Links? What?
So is
Yes.
it realityorphanage.com or what is the website for this orphanage?
Yes. It's still web node page. I've not paid full payments for the big website, the full website, but I tried to organize up what called a web node page. And I set up all the information, the required information. I hope you have that link. It's not with www, but what is that? That's what I'm trying. Maybe to register it for a full website with all the required information. But the funds, as you know, because all the things they require money, they require funds to organize all them, and that's what I'm fighting for. But through our node page, you can donate through it. All the required information for donations are there. Wave, World Limit, and Western Union, all are there. There are even those ones that they have things that they don't want. They have clothes, they have shoes, they have books that they don't use. Those are unused things. You can ship those things to Uganda to help us. You can use through. You can send through our treasurer. Treasurer name, Liwa Sharifa. That's what standard treasurer name. Liwa Sharifa. Then the address. His address you can apply Kampala. You can pick them from Kampala because Kampala is the capital state. You can pick them from Kampala then to our district. Then the contact 256-781-540-536. That's the number that you apply on a certain item that you are sending to us. Then through a company called DHL Shipping Company. DHL Shipping Company. We can receive anything through that information that I've given out. You can receive anything that you don't want. Maybe you have used the shoe, used the shoes for the kids that you don't want, you can send it to us. Yes. I hope everyone that is watching this video, that's listening, you have unwanted things in your house, unwanted things that your kids left out there that they don't use it. So you can send those unwanted things to us. Please, you can send those unwanted things to us for these children because some of them they don't have clothes. They have 1 or 2 clothes. Yes, they don't have shoes. They don't have schooling shoes. As we're saying, they don't have clothes shoes. They don't have schooling shoes. So, please come up with anything you can. Come up with unwanted things that you don't want us. Can help us. You may think that is little on your side, but it means a lot to these children. It means a lot.
So, do you have your address on your Reality Orphanage Facebook page? So, is there an address there? Because I do have like tons of shoes that the kids have outgrown and such. So, they're not using them, and I do donate here to the Pine River Sharers, but I'd love to share with you guys too. So, is your address on your Facebook page?
No, I'll just share that the address or give you the required information so that you can ship for us those shoes, and I'll send you the required information for you to ship out the shoes and the clothes that you don't want for these kids. Please, thank you so much for that support.
Thank you. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here. Troy, how can people contact you in order to, get a hold of Reality Orphanage and do this fundraiser, or to reach out to you for some hypnotism or whatever else that you can provide for them?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook as Troy J. Bacon, and I also shared my Troy Bacon account, but Troy J. Bacon is the public account. And that's where I share the GoFundMe fundraiser link, and we'll be sharing more in the future, and keep it, and also share um, my YouTube videos and other content related to hypnotherapy and um, other advanced spirituality topics I talk about on YouTube. Um, for hypnotherapy services, if anyone wants to get in touch with me and book a consultation, they can find me at newbeinghypnosis.com. And there's also New Being Hypnosis Facebook page. Um, I started a meetup group recently that meets on Sundays. I was meeting in Seattle. I might discontinue the physical location for a bit and just go online through Zoom, but that's the Hypnosis Community for Subconscious Learning, which is on meetup.com too. Um, that's $40 per session. It's I teach self hypnosis, and then each week we can share about self hypnosis experiences and what certain things may mean and improve techniques, and it becomes a learning community.
I would say $40 is a good deal because I know other people doing the same thing as you, and they're charging $100 or more. So thank you for that price, because I can't afford $100, but pretty sure I could, with the help I need, afford 40. So thank you for doing that. That I'm super
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah, I do that because the self hypnosis is not my hypnotherapy services. There's a difference, but the self hypnosis is done on your own, whereas my hypnotherapy services, where I guide people and help people in sessions, is now $144 per hour. Actually, I could go over. That's what I'm doing and glad to do is do I think 90 and 120-minute sessions. Perhaps it's best to take time with hypnotherapy to do it well. I also have Patreon with 3 different tiers currently, where people can sign up as continuing members to donate a small fee every month and then get greater discounts on hypnotherapy services. And I think I'll even add some free sessions to that benefit too. So that's Patreon. Just Troy J. Bacon is the name on there. I think I have that on my Facebook account too, and my website.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn as well and Twitter, but I barely use those because what is it? Twitter doesn't let me share as much word content as Facebook, and LinkedIn is more like a business networking site that I find to be fairly mainstream and not so much for hypnotherapists. But I'm on both. So anyone can contact me through my website, New Being Hypnosis. Is probably a good way if you don't have Facebook.
And Kasango, as far as your paintings go, I know you have those, and I have something I'm going to share with you in Messenger. As far as you can post this online and people can purchase your paintings, but how much is that painting right there if somebody wanted to buy it?
This one, to know it's give the prices according to the size. There are those big sizes, but this one it's like 70.
Okay.
70, 60.
Nice.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
60. Yes.
And you painted that yourself, or do you paint those, or does somebody else?
I paint myself. This is my work. This is what I do. Paint myself. 50.
Yeah,
you have even 40. You have for
I believe
40.
the network to go to is called masterworks.com, and that's where you can post your stuff. But I will share that with you in Messenger too, because I know you were talking to me about selling them, etc. But masterworks.com, people from all over the world can see your paintings and they can purchase them, and I know that will help a great deal. I love that painting. It's so beautiful. Hopefully
Yeah,
I get a
thank you.
paycheck next time and I can purchase some artwork because I love elephants and I just love sunsets or sunrises, and I don't know, I love that painting. It's so pretty.
Yes, I have like as now I have like 20 pieces of these paints. So if I get the opportunity, people to buy these paints, maybe it can support us in food, tuition, even tuition for these children, living health. It can help us if we get such that funds or such money. It can help us in such problems. We have issues of land, so if I get people to support me through buying these paints, it's really I really appreciate. No,
Yeah,
I discussed shipping with brother Troy, shipping these paints. So if they ship these things, these paints to America, it's a big difference between Uganda and America. Yeah, these things are cheap. These things are cheap. These paints are cheap. People they don't buy. People they want on low prices. So if I get a chance and we ship these paints, we can get some good funds so that we can support these children. So my dream is all about shipping these paints to that side. At the moment, I have like 20 paints. At the moment,
very
I have
nice.
like,
Yeah,
if
I'm
I get the
definitely gonna
opportunity,
send you that link. That way you can post your paintings on there, and it's all taken care of as far as shipping and all this other stuff. So, I just want to thank you, Kasango and Travis, for being on the show this evening, and um, Okasha and Travis and all these other beautiful children that are on here today. I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful to see your beautiful faces. And I hope you have a beautiful day today. And I know you guys are taking care of each other. I just wish the best for you, and I hope, luckily, doing this show that we were able to raise some money, some funds for the reality orphanage, because it is so very important in my heart and Travis's heart and even Kasongo's heart. I love you guys so much. So grateful that
yes,
you're here.
Thank you,
yes,
Tessa. We
I
appreciate you.
play. Thank you so much, Aunt, for this big opportunity. I want to let everyone know that it's now two
Definitely do
weeks.
this again.
Yes, it's now 2 weeks. This is the second week. The students have missed the last week, not schooling. So helping this week, if you get some funds, we can get the requirements and they get back to school. So I call upon everyone. Brother
Yes, me
Troy
too.
set up the Brother Troy set up the fundraiser, but no one has yet donated anything.
Really.
So
Yeah, and
it
I've
is
even shared it to
yes,
maybe a dozen fundraising groups on Facebook and on my social media accounts, and so far nothing. But I do hope that this radio program helps reach a wider audience.
Me
yes,
too. And like I was saying earlier, we're on so many places, like numerous places. So I'm hoping, somebody will see this and it'll tug at their heartstrings. And I hope that they do give, because I give, Troy gives, and we love you guys, and we want your dream to come true, and we want these children's future to be super bright because they're so beautiful, and you guys all deserve the best. And I'm so grateful that you came into my life. I'm so grateful that you found me through Troy.
thank you so much, Auntie. But that's what I'm paying for. If at least this week we get the requirements, if we get the goal of the fundraiser 400, then he'll be paying the tuition with time. But if you get the requirement first, if you get the goal of 400 right now, maybe in this week, and get the requirements so that they can start schooling in this week. So I call upon everyone, because
Me too.
it is 400 goal fundraiser, but nothing. They have noted nothing on the fundraiser. So I call upon everyone that is watching this video, please don't anything you can, or it will be 1.1, or it will be $1 can make a difference. Because
Every
if
little
they
penny
don't
counts.
want, yes, if you don't 1.1 over 400, it never means 400. It reduces. So anything you donate makes a difference and
For
means everything
sure.
to you. So the total fund, so 3,000. The orphanage is 3,000. So, but we set up a fundraiser of 100 at least to get the requirement first for these children to go back to school first.
And please
Then with
send me
tuition, shall be
snapshot or picture of that paper you keep showing, because I can't see it from here. But if you can send me a snapshot of that, I have more pictures that I have downloaded. I'm going to do yet another post, but I want to have that in there so people can see exactly what you guys are looking for, what you need, what your needs are, and hopefully we can get your needs met.
Yeah, I will. I will. I will. Thank you so much, Brother Troy, for giving us such big opportunity, putting the first made on your business. Thank you so much, Brother Troy. No, as you explained, Blazon explained, he gave us a chance. You have to first pay, then he works for you, maybe work on you. So thank you so much, Brother Troy, for that big opportunity that you gave to us, for supporting us, everything, because you are always there for us. Thank you so much, brother. May God
It's
bless
such
you
a
and
good
Of
God
course.
serve. Yes. Antro, Auntie Tessa, all. Thank you so much for everything, for this big opportunity, because this is not easy. To give me big opportunity to come out and tell people about our orphanage. They know about much about these kids. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. May God bless you and what is your banner.
God
We
bless
always
you.
never lose hope. We always
I
never
love
lose
helping
hope
people.
because anything can happen at any time. Someone can come up with 100, with 200, with 300 at any time, because God was able to create this world in just 6 days. How about to change Patrick's life, Joel's life? I think this can be possible even in a single minute. So
Mhm.
I always never lose hope. This is what I always tell these children: to never lose hope. Someone can come up and donate to the fundraiser so that you can reach the goal, so they can go back to school. So I always never lose hope. If that was
Never.
possible, what about the other us? Hope this can be done even in a single minute. If God was able to create this world in 6 days, even this can be possible. So I call upon everyone, please, everyone that is watching, please come up with anything you can over this budget, anything you can support with on this budget. Please come up with anything. Donate anything you can.
Every little bit
I know you're
counts. And I know
yes.
times are tough and people's purse strings are tight and everything else like that, but like he's saying, 1.1, oh, say $1.10 or $1.01, whatever, $20, $30, 15, whatever you can give will be most appreciated. But thank you again, Travis, and thank you, Kazango, and Patrick, and all these beautiful children. I'm so grateful to see you
Joe,
guys, and so grateful that you could be on tonight, and we finally got you back again.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Tessa. I appreciate you.
And
thank
I also
you.
thank all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's Facebook, KPNL Twitter, Spreaker, Twitch, iHeartRadio, wherever else beyond the Omniverse you're listening tonight. I had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do it again this next weekend. We actually have Psychic Chris Garcia on, and then we have story time once again. So you guys don't forget, we are all in this together, and together we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. Generally, we do an after party. We might do one tonight. You can look me up on Skype under Tessa in Thomas Peterson, or give me a jingle jangle at 970-335-9596. Until next time, nighty night, live and light. Take care of my yous, and be careful with my gentle people. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.
Have you?
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have you?